Hey, welcome to the show before the show. That's Will. I'm Pat. We're just talking about some of these Final Fantasy cards. We're gonna get to them when we get to them, but there's one it's kind of funny. It's broken in like a pretty meaningful way. If they don't errata it, then it is just what it is. Should we save it for last, just for retention's sake? I'm just kidding.
We'll be going into it. Like, we'll cover it.
Yeah, we're knees deep in this boy real fast. But guys, was it PAX? We got a debut of cards for the newest set that's coming out next month, if I'm not mistaken. Final Fantasy X Magic the Gathering. And I'm going to put it in that order because I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy. So I'm pretty stoked for this set. We've gotten a lot of spoils and just reveals up till now. We're going to cover official spoils. If there's anything we missed, official reveals, I should say. If there's anything we missed, then it's because it's not on Scryfall. But everything on here has been officially revealed. So we want to discuss these leading up to the full set review. There's a mixture of set cards and commander cards. As you know, they sell different products. So those commander variants have their own mechanically unique things you'll need to buy into. But there's 52 legendaries from this set, which is a lot to cover. And we're looking at some cards that have been previously revealed. So I don't want to say we're going to glaze over them, but what we want to do for each card is basically give you an idea of how you might want to take the deck and where it may potentially fall within Commander's bracketing system currently. So if you have an idea for a casual variant of any deck that we consider CDH, that's perfectly fine. It's easy to sort of adopt those decks for a lower tier, as opposed to something that's probably more casual and would be hard to adopt into a competitive setting. Does that make sense? Just to give you an idea where these cards stand, things you can do with them. All right. Any thoughts? Well, I realize I look like a little bit of a banana today with this. Do you like this Wario shirt I'm wearing?
Yeah, for a second, I saw that and I'm like, does Patrick have like a scarf or something on? Or I didn't know what the brown thing was for the. No, is that just part of the shirt or?
No. Oh, I get up in the morning, I wash my face, I get coffee, and I see you, and I just put my headband on my neck because I usually just like stow it in my room, but I didn't have a chance to go to my room. So I'm just going to look like
your stem, you banana man.
yeah. Get ready to peel back the layer. It's just one layer.
You're the banana man.
It's my Wario shirt that I'm not confident enough to wear out in public. So it's become a house shirt.
Fair enough.
I love Wario. Hey, sorry.
I am excited about several of the Final Fantasy cards. There's a lot of really cool things that can be built in a lot of ways. I was expecting Final Fantasy to be like a horribly designed set, kind of. Not to talk trash. Like Lord of the Rings, only in the fact that Lord of the Rings didn't have any like really efficient standout commanders. There was things that you might be willing to build from Lord of the Rings, but a lot of them were like, oh, I can put that in the 99. But in Final Fantasy, the initial spoilers we had looked like a whole bunch of commanders that would go in the 99, but now are looking like actual good commanders, and I'm hyped.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I am putting up a poll. It's mostly for the lads out there, but I think the ladies will participate as well. Give me 1 second. 1 second. It's only
speaking of ladies, happy Mother's Day to everybody watching the stream.
Thank you for that. You're absolutely right. Hey mom, if you watch, maybe expect a call later. Who knows? Yeah, I'm gonna play this one. I'm gonna play this Mother's Day coy. No, happy Mother's Day to the ladies out there. And if you're a mother, then super special happy Mother's Day to you because you've been through it. So I guess that means Marissa, Mom, happy Mother's Day to you guys.
I do want to say my one complaint I'm going to have about the Final Fantasy set is the same complaint I had about the previous set. Mm-hmm. We are getting multiple legendaries of the same card, so we have multiple named cards popping up in different things. So we have 3 Clouds, 2 Emets. We have I know there's more. We have 3 Sephiroths already, and we're probably going to get a 4th. I would not be surprised if we got a 4th Sephiroth. We got 2 Terras. We got 2 Tifas, which I'm glad because I did not like the Naya Tifa.
Oh, yeah, this new one's really great.
Yeah. So we got a whole bunch of legendaries that got multiple cards. Or multiple... we got multiple characters who got multiple cards. Like Y'shtola. You can't just say, I built a Y'shtola deck, Patrick. Now you gotta say, I built a Y'shtola Knights Blessed instead of a Y'shtola Rule.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Y'shtola Rule. Actually, the mono blue one's okay. I mean, we'll get to her, I guess, when we get to her.
Funnily enough, the blue one is mediocre. I don't say mid because it's like it's lower than that because it doesn't do as much as you would hope it does.
But there is a card down at the bottom of this list that does more than you would hope it does. That's for sure. Sorry, you're not looking.
Going over that, and I'm going to be ranting for probably like 10 minutes about that stupid freaking card.
Well, I mean, it's only bad if there's collusion, but I mean, I guess we'll get to that.
It's only bad if people are playing to win.
Oh, okay. I guess. I mean, one of you is definitely playing to lose in that case, but I guess it's like sort of it becomes a cooperative match.
The thing is, it just turns the game into like a weird version of Two-Headed Giant. I wanted to use another term for it, but it's not 10 minutes into the video or not like a minute into the video, so YouTube would ding it. But yeah, I think it's probably a good time to start.
I think so. Yeah, everything's working. That's usually what we do before the show, just to make sure everything's working for you guys. And because it is, oh, there you go. It's officially working. We're going through our legendaries today in alphabetical order. I thought it would be a little bit more fun to go through the character roster this way. Again, we're going to see some that we've seen before, like Cecil the Dark Knight. That's fine. But we'll begin with Absolute Virtue. Why don't we could just take turns going through these. We're going to read them off, obviously, and give you guys our opinions. Well, do you want to start with Absolute Virtue?
Sure thing. Absolute Virtue is 6 white-blue for an 8/8 legendary creature avatar warrior that cannot be countered, has flying, and says, you have protection from each of your opponents. That's all, but that's a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty virtuous. It's high cost, 8 mana, 8/8 flyer that will stick and gives you protection. So yeah, it's not like if your opponent can still interact with you, obviously, but protection from each of your opponents means that you can't be lightning bolted, you can't be targeted. Yeah, pretty much. So they need to rip this off the field before they get to you, basically.
Yeah.
It's good. I think that this is probably more of a casual card. Obviously, its cost sets it apart. 8 is a lot, especially without, say, a Jeweled Lotus these days. So, but 8 with 6 being generic, it could be easier to get there. Like, you could Grim Monolith and stuff this out. But if you're stuffing cards like that in your deck, that does put it in bracket 3 minimally, just because you're relying on game changers. So, is there a world where this is like a bracket... Like, I don't know if you do a meme deck with this, but like, is this like a bracket 2 playable, or do you see this being firmly in bracket 3 minimally? This
is probably in bracket 3. It may be able to sneak up to bracket 4, but I really do think bracket 3, because I feel like the main way that you play this is just a whole bunch of interaction pieces, a whole bunch of protection equipment, and then you just equip Absolute Virtue with Lightning Greaves, and then you can't be hit, it can't be hit, counterspell anything that goes for the boots game.
Yeah, this one, it's not like requiring much effort on your part to build it. You know, this isn't necessarily a commander I would go for, because it's like it's just doing something really good by itself. But I'm that fool of a player, that fool of a took, that wants to just hammer home combos or do something crazy with whatever the card reads. This is fine. I like it. I think
I don't think that we should do a tier list style review for this, saying like what bracket we think it's in. I think that we should just throw ideas at a wall to say like, hey, you like this? Let's brew it this way, because then we can do the tier list later.
We do ultimately give a tier list for there's going to be so many. We do ultimately give tier list reviews for each set.
Or our tier list video.
Yeah, if you want like a real thorough overview of everything, today we just wanted to give you the highlights from what the new spoils, but then also cover some old legends. I'm fine with that. All right, who I would vote for as best girl, in case you're wondering about the poll. This is like a character from the first Final Fantasy game I got into, which subsequently got me into all of them, which also inspired apparently the group of people that made Clair Obscure play that game. It's really good. I'm playing it right now. All right, Aerith Gainsborough. For 2 generic and a white, human cleric, 2/2 body, life link. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on Aerith. Holy crap. Okay, well, there's plenty of ways to do that in white. Whatever.
Especially with a lifelink commander.
Right. It's just inbuilt, right? It's just a 1/1 though. It's not equivalent to the amount of life gained. Yeah. Whenever Aerith Gainsborough dies, put X +1/+1 counters on each legendary creature you control, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Aerith Gainsborough. Okay.
Yeah, that is not distribute. That is put counters equal to the number she had on everything else. So, legendary tribal / lifelink tribal. Have fun.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. And there's a lot of we've got some low-end doggo legendaries I know that you could just slam in here. I don't think that we're trying to Sephiroth her early on just to get the counters out. But what is a safe number if you're going to do some self-sacrificing thing? What is a safe number to distribute? What do you want? What is the best?
Well, here's the thing. You don't even need to be the one to distribute them usually, because if you're just running a whole bunch of lifelink legendaries, your opponents are going to want to kill Aerith, because that's going to be 10 commander damage a turn.
Yeah, that's fair. You might be relying more on the commander damage than anything, and then if that fails, you'll probably just go wide and smack them. Yeah. Are there any good infinite life gain tricks?
In mono white, there aren't a ton, but I really don't think that you need infinite life gain with Aerith, just by the fact that she builds in a little bit of protective redundancy, and getting a couple counters on her is usually enough to kill.
Well, I mean, obviously you got the Heliod Sun Crown Walking Ballista thing, which is technically infinite life gain, but then it's also just infinite death. So that's really not you could probably put that combo in here if you wanted to do something more competitive. Mono white is in a little bit of a tough space when it comes to competitive play. I play a list that's okay, but I wouldn't say that this would compete with that, nor would I say Heliod Sun Crown would. But you can jam that combo in here if you want. I mean, it obviously just vanilla works with her strategy. Probably use cards like Ozolith to just maintain that counter gain, right? Something like Ozolith would be kind of nasty, right? So you'll take that, because you're still gonna die and allocate X amount of +1/+1 counters, but then you can also just pocket those, go back to it after you recast her. It's not like she's difficult to cast either. She's good. She's really good. I like her a lot.
Yeah, quite fun.
I'm super biased, but I haven't played the remake yet for Final Fantasy. What was it? There's Rebirth and then remake and Rebirth. I haven't played the second one that's come out as of late. Is it looking like she's gonna live? Spoilers. I mean, I would really like that. Aerith, Ardith in the 99? Ardyn, Ardith, or Aerith? I assume you mean Aerith in the 99. She wouldn't be bad in the 99 of a deck. Is there a list in particular you'd want to throw her in?
It's just another Johnny's Bridemate with lifelink that also can move counters to your commander. She's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it'll fit into Marath pretty easily too if you just want something to help you with counterplay. Because Marath is just valid as a value commander. Chris says Aerith is decent. Agatha's Soul Cauldron commander. Yeah, that's actually true. That's a good contestant for Agatha's Soul Cauldron. But moving on. Sorry, we can always jump back if you guys want to jump back and talk on a card if we miss anything. Sorry.
Ardyn the Usurper, also known as the Dr. Stone-looking motherfucker.
Yeah,
the anime art.
I went with it's straight up I swear I've seen him on Crunchyroll somewhere.
Yeah, it freaking looks like Dr. Stone, whenever they do the slightly serious, haha moment things. Mm-hmm. 5 black for legendary creature, Elder Human Noble, with 4 power, 4 toughness, that says, demons you control have menace, lifelink, and haste. He has an ability called Star Scourge, which says at the beginning of combat on your turn, exile one target creature card from a graveyard.
Okay.
If you exile the card this way, you create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 5/5 black demon.
Combat.
Yeah, beginning of combat. This is literally God Pharaoh's gift, but as a commander. So I very much like that. Giving lifelink is useful, giving menace is useful, giving haste is useful. There's already, I think in historic, there is a God Pharaoh's gift deck that exists using the new Ulamog. So you can do that with Ardyn the Usurper. He's just a fun reanimate commander. He's kind of that one Shieldred, the OG Shieldred, but you can yoink your opponent's graveyards as well. So have fun stealing people's stuff.
I mean, screw that. Do we just want to like bury it alive a army of Eldrazi and go, hey, that's this Annihilator swinging at you right now, and it has menace, lifelink, and haste. I mean, obviously, the one thing it doesn't do is protection, so you do need to be wary of that. But I mean,
get rid of that menace. Give Ward 3. Let's
yeah,
go.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool though. Like, I really like this because like the way it curves out. It again is another 8 CMC one. You're getting virtually 9/9 in value is how they're evaluating it. So like the cost makes sense. But leading up to the turn you actually cast this, you'll probably bury it alive or entomb or unmarked grave some stuff. If it's a legendary, it'll have to be the former there. But once you do that, I mean, you've got a whole roster of things you could just smack them with. Do you want to run any sort of duplication effects for this trigger? Probably overkill. Maybe a little win more.
You can use a couple different things that just double commander triggers, roaming around, all that.
Yeah, this
would work.
This feels a little slow. Obviously, whatever you bring back is going to hit hard. It's going to hit like a truck, but it's pretty dope. I like it. I like it a lot. So far as mono black goes, I would say that this is probably more like casual beater deck, because you're reducing them down to 5/5s. These things, but I mean those 5/5s are going to put in some work.
I do wish it was in either white or green as well, so that you could double up tokens. You can still probably do populate things here, but I don't think there's a lot of great black or colorless populate effects. But there's options here. He can do stuff. He'll be fun for people who want to build him.
Yeah, I gotta say they did a good job balancing these, placing them in the colors that make sense, but also just balancing them. I do wish that there was a little bit more multicolor variety with some of these legends, but for the most part, I think the concepts are good and the playstyles are pretty evident. I like Ardyn though. I don't know. It'd be interesting to build. I've never done like an Eldrazi just slam deck, and I would want to. Okay, we're gonna go for this art because this is the art I'm most familiar with. Balthier and Fran, you play this Final Fantasy?
No, I have only ever played 7.
They just remade it as the Zodiac Age, so it's like it's worth getting into if you've never played it. I like the combat system a lot. I think it was like a welcomed improvement at the time. A lot of people didn't like it, but this is a really good game. These are really dope characters. This Balthier and Fran for a generic and gruel human rabbit. One, not the other. Final Fantasy 12 rules. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It was so good. Was it Vaughn and Pinello, or like the first two characters you're introduced to? Reach. Vehicles you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance and reach. Whenever a vehicle crewed by Balthier and Fran this turn attacks. If it is the first combat phase of the turn, you may pay their cost. If you do, after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Okay. Is there a vehicle that just like makes non-legendary copies? I know there's a helm.
Well, this is only if it's the first combat this turn. Period.
Yeah, it's not their first time. Yeah,
it's not looping combats, unfortunately, but still a very good vehicle commander. Because just pay 3 for an extra combat every single turn is sick.
It's really significant if you've gone wide enough.
Even completely ignore the whole vehicle concept of the deck. Like, you can just run like 3 vehicles in the deck, find them, and then just do an extra combat every turn, just for the sake of getting the extra combat.
Right.
Punch hard.
Yeah, and like use your Smuggler's Copter for card quality or something. Like there's good variants here with like how you could take this. I've always loved vehicle decks. I usually, when I build casual, I feel like I'm way more oriented towards vehicles.
It does not untap all your creatures. It just gives you an additional combat after the fact. So you do need to mass vigilance everything, because your vehicles have vigilance.
Yeah,
that's
you're not going
to reason why the whole thing.
Yeah, you're not going to accrue them again though.
They're still fun things.
Yeah. What is the best thing you can crew for 4?
I don't know vehicles well enough.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what is something that you would want to smack with. It'd be great. I mean, imagine if it untapped them, because obviously just having that as like a defender the next turn would be pretty sick. With your vigilant vehicles, and that's clearly the name of the deck.
Let's see. The best vehicles are Head Shredder. Head Shredder is pretty good. Whenever one or more lands are put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you put them onto the battlefield, or from your graveyard into the From your graveyard from the library, you put them onto the battlefield. Now, crew 1, and you mill 2 when it attacks. That's pretty good. There's the chariot that just makes cats.
Yeah, Eska's chariot.
Yeah.
You want to Eska's chariot? Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Cats, rabbits, humans. It's all the same. They do damage. All right. I love the art for this card too. There's so much variety here, but we're gonna go with the one we just showed. All right, man. Ready?
Yep. So they're fun. They're cool. But the next one is Bartz and Boko. 3 green for legendary creature, human bird with affinity for birds. When Bartz and Boko enters the battlefield, each other bird you control deals combat damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. It is a 4/3. Bird tribal and ETB bird wipe.
Each other bird you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. Each other bird. Yeah, so it's selective, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Got like a Bant bird tribal commander semi recently. So we might be able to put this in the 99 of a deck. You can also probably just do something funny with like Changeling Tribal, and this is your commander, where you just keep flickering this and bouncing it and yada yada to keep killing all of your opponent's stuff. So there are funny things you can do, but it's not super relevant as a commander.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. And this isn't even like if it was in Selesnya, you could do the thing with that bird. You can have any number copy of this bird. What is it? The one that like finds other birds. There's a couple of those cards, but like there's a bird that lets you find other birds. Doesn't matter.
Oh, this is pretty good in a Rend Maw deck. Whenever you cast a card that's 2 or more card types, you make a 2/2 black bird creature token with flying. Actually, no. Each player. So you give other people birds, and those tokens are goated.
Yeah.
But you give everybody the birds, and then you make your birds fight your opponent's non-bird things, and then you keep going.
Okay. Well, Bartz and Boko. That's sort of a cute strategy. I don't know that it can be groundbreaking, but if you really like those characters, maybe you should play them. This is one we've definitely touched on along with Celis, but Cecil Dark Knight, again, we could touch on him very briefly here. Death Touch Darkness, whenever it deals damage, you lose that much life. Then if he's a 2/3, by the way, for 1, which is pretty solid. Then if your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, oh my god, untap and transform him. He gets a lifelink whenever Cecil attacks. Other attacking creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. So it's literally protection during your turn. It's okay.
Yeah.
Good colors. I like the colors. Fan favorite character. So I think they did him right.
Yeah. Also, I gotta say, one thing that I was told after the fact when this card was initially spoiled, and I do kind of like, not a bad Death Shadow card.
Mm, mm,
It's a
mm.
1 mana thing that if you pay enough life, it becomes a 4/4 very quickly, and then it starts regaining you 4 life a turn while protecting Death Shadows. So it helps you ride the Razor's Edge, and it's a good anti-aggro tech for Death Shadow. It's really good anti-aggro tech in pretty much any deck,
Mm.
because it just needs to deal combat damage once, and then it flips into a 4/4 lifelink blocker. It's good. I like it.
It's good. Until someone flickers it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Celis Rune Knight is the next one.
Did we build her?
This, so we're not. Yeah, we built her. And she worked.
She's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch the
One
video
red, a white.
on Celis, by the way. Yeah.
But one a red, a white, and a black. For legendary creature, human wizard knight. Whenever this enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards from your hand and then draw that many cards +1. Also 4 power, 4 toughness.
It's
not
not
really relevant.
It's not May, sadly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any number, so it could be 0.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
quite
I
as
know
good.
what you're referencing. We're going to be getting there in a second. And then, whenever one or more other creatures you control enter the battlefield, if one or more of them entered from the graveyard or cast from the graveyard, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. We went over this. We brewed this. You can either brew this as a persist commander, or you can brew this as a flicker storm commander, because you can just fill up your hand pretty high. Every single flicker is now an instant speed way to discard your hand, resculpt into the perfect hand, and then do the thing. I think when we built her, she was pretty much playing Necropotence win the game.
I feel like we won via Necropotence every single time. Spoiler alert. It worked very cleanly, very well every single time, though. So if you're looking for something that's consistent in Mardu, I would say her. All right. Does anyone have a favorite Sid Highwind?
You just do view all prints.
Yeah.
Show them all.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a couple copies. It's like Doctor Who. You're going to have so many variants of the same dude. I mean, they're all doctors, but they're different doctors. But there was a lot of versions of every doctor. This set, there's a lot of versions of every Sid. I'm just going to highlight Final Fantasy VII's because this is the one I'm most fond of. I'll read them off even. Sid Timeless Artificer. Oh, I gotta love an Artificer. For 2 generic Azorius. 4/4. Artifact creatures and heroes you control. Yeah, what are heroes again? It's like specific types of warrior.
Are colorless 1/1s with no type, but there's a whole bunch of effects that give them things in the set.
Duly noted. Okay, so heroes you control get +1/+1 for each Artificer you control and each Artificer card in your graveyard. A deck can have any number of cards named Sid Timeless Artificer. And then it has cycling.
It's funny that he doesn't break the legend rule, but also makes sense that he should not break the legend rule.
Yeah, it's funny, because if you were to play another Sid into him,
you have to sack one.
One would die.
There can only be one Sid, but there's many Sids throughout time in the graveyard.
Well, I guess that's why they put cycling on them. They're just like, well, you gotta do something with these other ones. That's kind of sick.
If you want to build a cycling deck, Sid might be the way to go.
Genuinely,
if you want to build an artifact punchy deck, Sid might be the way to go. If you want to just meme with your friends with a stupid concept of like, haha, I killed you with my commander and I didn't even cast my commander this game, Sid might be the way to go.
I dig it. This is a fun Azorius build for sure. And there's a lot of cycling shenanigans in blue, like just effects that you want cyclers for. So having a list chock full of them is kind of sick. And he should be easy to find as well. So
yeah, he's uncommon. All right, Patrick, the card that you just referenced, but like 1 minute ago. Clive, Ifrit's Dominant.
Dude, we're going to go for the sick-ass art, this one.
Yeah.
There you go.
He has several sick-ass art. He's just a sick-ass looking guy. But Clive is 4 red for a legendary creature, human noble warrior with 5 power and 5 toughness. Here's the joke. When Clive enters, you may discard your hand. Then draw equal to your devotion to red. As it's currently worded, you may choose to not discard your hand and then still draw equal to your devotion to red. They are probably going to reword that or make a ruling saying, no. If you have a then clause, then you have to do. which fine, people are expecting it to work that way anyways. But in addition, Clive has another effect. You can pay 4 red and tap Clive, then exile Clive and return him to the battlefield transformed with at sorcery speed. Then the transformed side is a legendary enchantment creature saga demon, and it has on chapter 1 it fights something. It's a 9/9, by the way.
What you mean to say is it demolishes something.
It kills something. Chapter 1, murder. Chapter 2, get 4 red. And if this is chapter 3, you exile it and return it to the battlefield as its front side. So the reason why this is really good is because if you pay that 6 and you can proliferate, you can keep having it return over and over and over again, getting you to loot through your hand and deck a ton of times. As long as you keep your devotion to red up, you're good. You can also Twin Flame to just loot through your deck. You can do a whole bunch of those random colorless flicker effects to loot through your deck. Clive is the best red draw commander that I think we've ever had. I love him.
Yeah, I mean, well, as it's worded right now, the most broken.
Yeah, as it's worded right now, he's the best red draw effect, period.
You know how wheel effects, the one thing I hate about wheel effects is that you maybe have 1 or 2 good cards in your hand, you didn't want to lose them. Now, you don't have to keep them all, and then just draw based on your devotion. This seems reasonable. This is kind of sick. So you just go Cobalt Tribal. You're like, hey, those are all red. You just play a bunch of Cobalts and Clive, and you're like, I'm gonna draw 7 and discard none. It's kind of funny.
People are calling this mistake the Wheel of Potential misprint.
Yeah, I mean, hell,
for those who don't know, Wheel of Potential's the red wheel from Modern Horizons 3 that says you may pay energy, or you may pay X energy and then draw X cards, or discard your hand and draw X cards. So Wheel of Potential was just 3 mana, choose to pay 0 energy, but then draw 40 cards. So it's the Wheel of Potential misprint.
Yeah. Did they errata this? They must have, right?
Clive, not yet, but
no. Well, Wheel of Potential.
Yeah, Wheel of Potential. They errated it
immediately. That's so funny, dude. How do they do this? Twice?
Not immediately. There was an event that took place when the set got released, and people were like, "Okay, technically they haven't made a ruling on this yet, so we could abuse the crap out of Wheel of Potential." I don't think anybody did in the event, which I'm happy about, but it was a possibility. People were just polite at the event.
On the subject of other IPs, feel free to holler what IPs you would like to see in Magic the Gathering. And I just want to say one more thing about this. We've talked about it on the channel before. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. Magic the Gathering is, to what Bobby was saying, the best collectible / trading card game that's ever been made from a mechanical standpoint. So why not have your favorite IP in it? Honestly, it's just a coat of paint to me. I just like playing the game because it's mechanically very sound. So I love all of this shit. If you guys are Final Fantasy fans, let me know in the comments what you're most excited for here. I know a lot of you guys are interested in picking up singles from this set. Maybe not so much cracking packs because the randomness of it. I would still be. Is it that much more rewarding to get your Aerith alt art that way? Maybe.
I'm just saying, I want to build my Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny commander deck, and we're slowly getting there. We have Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White, Monty Python, the Holy Grail's Black Knight.
Yeah.
They are getting there.
We are. And Cloud, he's getting nowhere with the ladies. For 2 generic,
this one as well.
We did, and it was okay. So we got some reporting here. 2 generic and Naya, 4/4 body. If you haven't seen our video on Cloud, go ahead and check it out. We did this, not the mono white one that was just revealed. So if you want to see this one built out, it's fine. Haste: when Cloud enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to it. Whatever Cloud attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Then, if Cloud has 7 or greater power, create 2 treasures. So the 7 or greater power is pretty easy to do. You're typically attaching to Cloud. So far as other equipped attacking creatures, it's not common. you're not, I don't know, you've got to, it's a lot of work. If you're reading this and it sounds like a lot of work, it is. It's a lot of work. He's also 5 mana, so by the time you get to him, you're probably going to have established something, I would hope, and he will help you get rebuild, right? So you're not only drawing off of everything, you're making treasures. So in theory, it works really well. I think Colossus Hammer was probably my favorite thing to just have in the deck. Anything with a high equip cost, and then low cast cost, high equip cost, and then high yield and value, I really liked. I would still say that this is a really fun casual beater deck, but by no means is this the best like Voltron commander.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
He gives draw. He's a weird Voltron commander, but like Voltron is iffy as it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Voltron and Cloud, next one, Cloud. Midgar Mercenary. White, legendary creature, human soldier mercenary, 2 power and 1 toughness. When Cloud enters, search your library for an equipment, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. As long as Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. This is the more fun Cloud because 1, you can double up Skull Clamp if you want.
Yeah.
2, you can double up like all the sword effects if you want. Like there's so many things that this does that are really dumb.
Do you like that he's clampable?
Yeah, because the thing is, you use him, you get Clamp, draw 4 cards, and then you can replay him again later to get another equipment. So I think that this is going to be a really good utility commander for just casual decks, because you just keep killing him over and over and over again. Like if you this is a deck where you're cool with just finding Nim Deathmantle and then doing the Nim Deathmantle thing.
Yeah, he's probably one of the better. The way I see it is, it's probably more of a 99 card. But he's, what is the name of the girl that finds the equipment from your deck? Why do I not remember her name? She was expensive for a long time. She's probably expensive now, but they made so many copies of her. She's also double white. She at ETB's Find It equipment. What is the name of this character? Stoneforge Mystic. Jeez Louise. Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic. So many good arts for Stoneforge Mystic. All right, so it's like that, but I kind of like this a lot. I love the duplication of triggers, because even, if you just want to run this for value, like there's a lot of stuff you could do. We haven't even talked about any of the swords yet. Like if you use any of the swords, they just trigger multiple times. Stop. That's great. I love this. So like a Sword of Fire and Ice is just ultimate value. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cloud, Midgard Mercenary, Helm of the Host. I mean, does that work?
Yeah, you get double the Helm triggers, and then that gets you 2 more equipments. So you just do that, and you start getting all the equipments out of your deck. So that does work.
Helm of the Host, again, the cost of that, the setup cost of that's kind of high, but there's a lot of auto-equip in white. Am I crazy?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
white is the color that does that, along with like red. 1 red effect.
Yeah, red. I mean, red has, what is it, magnetic theft, and then they've got the creature, the scout, but that's colorless. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff to make this pop with a Helm of the Host for sure. Collector. I like that call here. I kind of want to
the Aether Spark on Cloud, so that when he deals combat damage, you put double that amount of damage on the Aether Spark as counters.
If you guys, I mean, this is a new one. I wouldn't blame you for not thinking about it. But yeah, no, Aether Spark's a great call. And you can pull this from your deck. It's an equipment. Play it. Attach it. Damn.
I'm trying to see if there's like a way of making enough treasures, or a way of making enough like mana when stuff dies to do some kind of sack combo loop.
I'm kind of there's got to be like a mono. Are we crazy? Are we missing the larger picture here? Is there a Cloud combo deck that is there an equipment Cloud combo deck that just like wins on the spot with like 7 mana or something?
There doesn't seem to be like a good combo for it.
Because like you'll play
do stuff like Nim Deathmantle to just keep returning him over and over again.
It's fine, I guess. Yeah. I mean, if you're doing that, Ashdod's Altar, generic. Is there a KCI line of play? Like duplicate equipment's gold pick, you say? Gold pick. Oh, sorry, I was retracted. I want to revisit this Cloud Midgard Mercenary. It's on face value. It looks like a really excellent 99 card.
It's Stoneforge in the command zone.
Also just a really cool Stoneforge. I mean, obviously the trigger ability is pretty legitimate. Having that effect, like Will was suggesting, with just Skull Clamp, like at base value, you just drawing 4 cards is really good. that's kind of enough. But I do think that there's probably more we can finagle out of this Cloud. I like it a lot. So far, this is my favorite Cloud of the Clouds. The other Cloud we could talk about briefly. This
Cloud's just really good. In general, he could be a toolbox commander, or he could be a hidden commander where you get any equipment from your deck that you want to build your deck around. Mm-hmm. Or he can just be a weird storm commander, or he can be a KCI commander. He can be a bunch of different things. Like, he's the most utility-based Cloud.
And he's in the least amount of colors. Go figure.
Yes. Speaking of a Cloud that's in a little bit more colors, but not the most colors, Cloud, Planet's Champion, 3 red-white for legendary creature, human, soldier, mercenary, with 4 power and 4 toughness. That says during your turn, as long as Cloud is equipped, he is double strike and indestructible, and equip costs that target Cloud are 2 less to activate. Voltron cost cheating, kind of just meh.
Da 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 da.
You want to cover the next one, Patrick?
I do. It's not the Emmet Unsundered we've also built a deck for, who is very good. It's Emet-Selch of the 3rd seat. The first and second one were taken. It's really big musical chair over there. 2 Dimir.
He got knocked out when they went to 2 seats. 3rd seat.
Yeah, sadly. That's how he got his name. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less to cast. Okay, that's not bad. That's not activated abilities. That's if the thing allows you to cast it from your graveyard, right? So plenty of effects that let you do that. Yawgmoth's Will being, I guess, the oldie and goldie here. Whenever one or more opponents lose life, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Well, hell, he gives you an ability right there. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Do this only once each turn. So it's kind of like that one girl Kess in Grixis.
Mage.
Right, except you're in Dimir, and this helps you expedite the spellcasting. It's really not difficult to make your opponents lose life, provided, you attack them, or you have effects in the deck. I don't think you're going to build for that. I don't think you're going to build to, like, ping people just to be able to cast an instant or sorcery spell. I think that most clear option is to swing a 3/4 at someone. Likely someone will have gone sideways for their own benefit, and then hopefully will not have a blocker. But this is okay. I don't mind this Emmet. I don't know that it's better than Unsundered, but there's a really good diversity of, like, playstyle here. Thoughts?
I will say the main difference between this Emmet and Kess is that Kess says that you can play 1 spell during each of your turns. Emmet says that you can just play 1 spell on each turn, meaning that you can play 4 spells per rotation. So that's the major difference between Emmet. As long as you can have opponents lose life somehow, which, considering shocks and fetches are a thing, you will incidentally just be able to double up on the Demonic Tutor on each player's turn, or entomb twice and then entomb or play the things that you entombed for. So Emmet is really good by the fact that he's 4 Kesses in 1, but you don't have red.
Yeah. I mean, red only opens you up to so much. I think, Underworld Breach is the big to-do,
but red and
more
tomb,
or less.
Patrick. Red and tomb.
Yeah, you got Gamble. I mean, sure. You get Gamble, you get Underworld Breach, you get there's a new copy of Ragavan that is Zidane from the set, which is the Ragavan to get, by the way. I'm super excited for that. Kess really isn't played anymore in a CDH setting. Maybe she's made some sort of resurgence with the meta being a little bit slower, but I think this is fine. I think that you should watch our video on Emet-Selch and Sundered, and I'll let Will cover it in brief,
Yeah.
but it's good.
The TLDR of Unsundered Emmet is 1 a blue and a black for a legendary creature Elder Wizard with 2 power, 4 toughness, vigilance that says when enters or attacks you may draw a card, then discard a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 14 or more cards in your graveyard, transform Emmet. Flip side is Hades, Sorcerer of Eld, which is a legendary creature avatar with 6 power, 6 toughness, and vigilance. It says, during your turn, you may play cards from your graveyard. Then, if a card or token would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it. The big thing is, those are 2 separate lines and 2 separate effects, so you can cast all the things you want with all of them on the stack, bounce Hades or flicker Hades to have it return as just regular Emmet, and then all of those things go back to the graveyard. And then you flip again, you recast all of them, and then recast all of them, and then recast all of them. Highly abusable effect, and a little bit of hand fixing, which is nice. We found out that Dredge is really king in this setup.
Yeah,
really powerful card. It makes sense why people are currently valuing it at $60.
It's really, really good. It was a fun list to build, and it was an extremely fun list to play. It's definitely one of the better ones we've built so far from the set. We built a few legendaries from the set. I would say that Y'shtola was my favorite. It is so fun to play. Oh my god, it's yeah. Watch that deck build because it's so counter to any other deck in any format. But Emet-Selch, very fun. Excellent ability to have strapped onto a body in the command zone. And Dimir is just good enough for those effects. All right, here's a new one, though.
We are going to be covering 3 legendaries at once here. So you can cover this first part, and I'll guide us to the second part, and then we can go to the third part after.
Well, where is she? Vanille?
Yeah, Vanille.
Well, I guess we could skip it. Actually, will it just be here? It is here. Okay, yeah, we can just do it this way. Okay. Sorry. Go for it. Oh, you want me to do Fang? Sure.
Yeah, you get Fang, I get Vanille, and then we can cover the Ragnarok after.
Dig it. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. This ability only triggers once each turn. She melds with Vanille, cheerful Lassie, Lahu, Lami, Liu. This is melding. This is reminding me of Brizelda, or what was it?
Yeah.
That's the exact same wording. But this is fine. It's vanilla on its face, decent effect.
Draw some stuff.
It's not partners with though, right? Like you don't.
It's not partners with, and correct me if I'm wrong for people. If you have Fang as your commander, Fang is Golgari because of the meld side, I believe. So I think that is true. I could be wrong about that, but I think that Fang is considered Golgari for colors.
The identity is...
For identity, yeah.
I don't know. I assume you have to take in both sides into consideration. So yeah, I guess you're I guess you're technically Golgari. I'm sorry. I don't actually know. So someone can correct us.
Vanille is a 3 and a green for a legendary creature, human cleric with 3 power, 2 toughness that says when this enters the battlefield, mill 2 cards, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Not one of the cards that was milled this way, which is very nice. At the beginning of your first main phase, if you control both the parts of this card, you can pay 3 black-green and transform this, or exile both the pieces and meld into Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. This looks sick.
Yeah, so you can cover Ragnarok.
Oh, sure.
Finish off your card.
Yeah, let's. There's a lot of keywords here. Vigilance, menace, trample, reach, haste. When Ragnarok dies, destroy target permanent and return that target non-legendary permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Not bad. 7/6, pretty good. 7/6 with all those effects, really good. You obviously would want some form of protection if your goal is to just beat people with the Ragnarok end. It's 3 hits, which is not insignificant to just knock someone out of the game. If there was double attack on here, it would be that much better. But the ability to destroy target permanents is all just kosher, good stuff. I like it. I don't think that we're going to make waves with this. It's not like casting Exodia. It's just very reminiscent of to me. But it's fine. I don't know that this is better than our previous meld legends. Were those the only ones that meld together? Is this like the first time we're getting meld again in a while?
The funny thing is, this is the first time that we have 2 legendaries that meld. The other one was a non-legendary angel and a legendary angel, I believe. Or it might have been, were both of them legendary? It might have been that both were legendaries and one reanimated the other for the meld.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It was, I can't remember if both of the angels were legendaries. I think only one was.
I think they were both legendaries. It was just Brunhilde and Gisela. I forget their names. I'm sorry. I've been wanting to do something with them for as long as they've been out, but I never have. Dalspa says plus clone, win game. Plus clone, win game. Can you win the game with this on the spot? Or just value? Or can it not do that? This thing? Do you mean to like repeatedly do this and then return target? Oh, I see what you're saying. You want to bring back, it's non-legendary permanent though. I think the girls are legendary. You can't bring back, I think they're trying to stop you from remelding these.
Also, I just looked it up. So yeah, meld is only front side. It does not care about the back side. So that means that you play unfortunately cannot have Fang be your commander for Fang and Vanille deck. You have to run Vanille as the commander if you want to run both.
Yeah, at least the option is still there. Like, if you want to do this build, it's playable. It's fine. Is Vanilla...
If you have Skoos with Fang, you just draw a crap ton of cards every turn.
Yeah, she is better, but it's okay. Can't have it all, sadly.
Next, we got a Firion, Wild Rose. 2 in a red for legendary creature, human rebel warrior with 3 power and 3 toughness. Equipped creatures you control have haste. Whenever non-token equipment you control enters the battlefield, create a token that's a copy of it, except it has. This equipment equips for 2 less, and sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next upkeep. This is a surprisingly really good card, because it doubles up your equipment. It makes it so your Skull Clamp equips for 0 for that 1 turn, which is really good at storming off and doing some really dumb shenanigans. Mm-hmm. It makes your Lotus Ring a lot better. In addition, this is a pretty decent KCI commander because it makes you artifact tokens, but those artifact tokens have a CMC for your Scrap Trawler, so you can get back bigger things. I like it. Firion is good. Jeez.
Destroy all permanent. You destroy all permanents that way. Can you clone the whole of the melded card? Can you clone the melded card? You would destroy all permanents that way. For Ragnarok. Everything will set on Firion. Firion's really cool.
Oh yeah, you're saying like if you did activated sleeper but activated sleepers no, but something like activated sleeper just to clone effect, so that enters legend rule, dies, reanimate, enters legend rule, dies, reanimate, yada 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 yada. Yeah, you can do something like that. I don't know if there's any good clone effects in our colors, but if somebody but you need to have 2 of them for the legend rule loop. There's something if you want to try to do that, but that's also so many hoops to jump through for very little profit.
Well, you would win the game.
Well, no, it's not win the game. It's just blow up all
everything. I mean, look, at this point, if you're blowing up all permanents and it passes, then
you're left. There's a lot of times where if you blow up all permanents and you just pass.
Yeah. Firion's dope though. I kind of like this concept. It just seems like good value, frankly. Being mono red does limit its playability, but it's pretty solid for a mono red equipment commander.
My only complaint is it does not make non-legendary tokens of the equipment. It just makes a copy of the equipment.
Yeah, that's okay though. I mean, it's there is some caveats with the effect. Obviously, sacrificing at the end of the turn kind of blows too, but tis what it is. Garland is an oldie. We've touched on this one as well, but we can cover him really quick. He is Rakdos Human Knight, 3/2 body. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Surveil. It's quite good. You could pay 7 mana to return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield, transformed at sorcery speed into Chaos the Endless. Chaos, you'd be surprised, there's only a 5/5. Flying, when Chaos dies, put it into the bottom of its owner's library, and then you'll promptly, put it in the CZ. Yeah, this is interesting. I don't think that cost of this ability should make a 5/5 flyer.
Yeah. It has utility in the 99 as like maybe a weird loop effect thing, but it's really not useful. It's a thing. It's not a good thing, but it's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
I will say the highest utility of this card is using the front side to surveil every time you cast.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That is good.
Yeah. What's the Dragon Rage Channeler? It's basically like another copy of that. Like, so on its face, it's fine. It's a 2 for 3/2. It's like good value. Obviously, in other settings, just having something that you could pop from your graveyard to do this is significant, but the cost is high, people. That is a high cost. Even just the pips themselves is very demanding. I think if that was... What would be more fair? Even if it was just the double black and double red. No, that's a lie.
It would need to be like exile. 4 mana to flip into the backside, and then it would be good on the stats. Or make it like give it more things than just being a vanilla 5/5 that
flyer
you put into your deck instead of your grave. It would have been better if it didn't have that last effect of when it dies, put it to the bottom of your library, but they're like, well, we don't want it being able to reanimate itself constantly. But it's like,
you're using your turn.
7 mana reassembling skeleton.
Yeah, you're blowing your whole turn for that. How about Gilgamesh, though? Does he tickle your pink?
Yeah, Gilgamesh, Master at Arms, 4 red. Legendary creature, human samurai. When this enters or attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put any number of equipment cards from among them onto the battlefield for the rest, and then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. When you put 1 or more equipment cards onto the battlefield this way, you may attach one of them to a samurai you control.
Ooh.
This is kind of mono. This is a red version of AO, if I'm being completely honest. The red dragon that's like when it dies you do fun things, because with this you can just keep getting equipment like Nim Deathmantle and things into play, or ways that let you make token copies of a creature to go deeper and deeper and deeper. So this has utility. This has some fun things you can do. This is a cool commander.
Yeah, again, all of these are costed very fairly. Like, they're like, here's a really good effect strapped to a really big body that also costs quite a bit. Although this is on the lower end of what we've seen, and you're in a color that has plenty of rituals. Like, you could help this out with a Seething Song, and it's not a do nothing on cast. It actually has an ETB. So
it also, this is not fair for its cost. This is very hyper efficient because a lot of your equipments give haste, so you're probably digging 12 when the turn this enters. This is a gross commander. I love him. He's good.
Yeah, I mean, would you want to build something like this?
Probably. Like, he's a very fun casual deck because you dig equipment really, really quickly. The major difficulty is paying to equip all the things. Right.
And in these colors, again, maybe not the easiest thing. You run Treasonous Ogre just to help you with the equip cost. And, like, hopefully one of those things has life gain. But yeah, if you hit, I mean, even just hitting one piece of equipment, frankly, is good enough. But putting any of them down is really great. Gladiolus. Isn't this one your favorite from the spoils so far, Will?
This is Golos. Let's go. Golos?
Golos? Search your library for land, put it on the battlefield, tap, and shuffle. Okay, that's not bad. Whenever a land you control... We've covered this one before, but whenever a land you control enters, another target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. Helm of the Host, Tim Rogers says, is good with the Master at Arms. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, Gladiolus is It's Golos, but buff and punch. Cool commander, pretty nice. Not going to be anything super notable. People will build it because green power matters does exist, and this landfall ability is actually pretty good, and it finds your guy's cradle for you in addition to a bunch of your utility lands, so good card is good.
But what about Grahatia?
Grahatia is Scion Reborn. White, blue, black, legendary creature, cat wizard. You like your cat wizards, Patrick. Actually, no, you prefer cat warlocks. That's right. Lifelink for 2/3 with throw wide the gates. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay X life, where X is that spell's mana value. If you do, hey, look at that. You may do something, and then if you do, you get a benefit.
Yeah, right.
If you do, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token and put X1 or X+1/+1 counters on it. Do this once each turn.
Where once the gates are opened, they can't be opened again.
You gotta wait a turn to let the gates close back, but then you can read them again.
Yeah, and throw them wide open, but
just make a deck called Peekaboo, and that's the entire deck. Peekaboo, next turn, Peekaboo.
Oh, there's another hero.
Make a pretty big board pretty easily, do free spells to just make a more and more massive board, and then just punch people hard.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah.
If you honestly wanted to you might be able to build this CDH as just a way of going like, I made a 6/6 because I cast a Force of Will. I made a 5/5 because I cast a Snuff Out. Repeat. Okay, I swing at you for 20.
Yeah, no.
Do that again. Next turn, you're dead. Again.
Yeah, it's really going to be reliant on almost the same cards as Y'shtola. Like, you're probably going to run a lot of the free to cast spells pending conditions. Force of Will plus this, you're losing a bit of life throughout all of this, but then you're also just getting these things that can beat people. I do like this conceptually. It kind of reminds me of like a Rashmi or Kess, or when your value is something that's being appraised every turn. So you could do a lot of work with this. I think it's a really cool control list, and you'll probably run all of the free spells. Like Deadly Rollick becomes that much better as well. Like, it's removal plus a body. Again, you only get to do this once, so make sure that you really live it up when you do it. And anything that would duplicate the amount of counters these enter with is maybe considerable. Like, if you want to have a game closer, that's arguably enough. Tia has ears.
You can also just play the Ozolith, so when these humans die, you put them all onto Greya Tia, and then you have lifelink, and then you make more things and kill with commander damage.
It's not bad. Cat Tribal too. There's that.
Yeah.
We're not doing. Wow, 26 people in here. Yeah, only 5 likes. Oh, thanks, Prime Shifter. Yeah, that happens. People like to take a peekaboo like Grahatia, and this is as far as it goes.
Wide the gates, man.
Yeah, they open wide the gates and then they walk out without even closing them. I appreciate that, Prime Shift. But yeah, if you guys have any cards you want us to walk back to, we could talk about them. But we're on Hildibrand right now. You want to cover this one?
I think I just did Tia. If you want to do Hildibrand, you can.
Oh yeah.
You like him as well.
Yeah, there's really not much else to say about Tia. But Hildibrand Manderville, for a generic and a white, he's got stories. Human Detective, 2/2 body. You could cast the adventure Gentleman's Rise for 2 generic and a black. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Pretty funny. I'll show you the token.
Love that that's an instant.
Yeah.
Combat tricks in the command zone. Let's go.
I know, it's kind of sick. Which is, this all spells out to be a pretty decent card, but creature tokens you control get +2/+2 or +1/+1 counters. Excuse me. I don't know why I said 2/2. I was looking at the 2/2. When Hildibrand Manderville dies, you may cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn. This is all quite good. So he's
not staying dead for long. You're never paying commander tax on this commander. You can theoretically do like aristocrat death loops, and you can also just anthem tokens. Very fun card. This will be a commander for a lot of casual decks.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a lot of infinite shenanigans here. But what you're doing is not like impacting the game in the sense that you'll win on the spot unless part of that line of play has you sacking these bodies, because you're going to be using Hildibrand to go on the adventure. You're not, unless you're sacking these bodies to deal damage to opponents, you're not going to do anything beyond making infinite bodies, which can win the game, and you could do it at instant speed, Will. So,
well, unfortunately, can't cast the human detective side without or at a regular speed.
If you had infinite,
cast the instant from the command zone with infinite mana at instant speed,
right? And then when it goes on its adventure, like you can remove it from that adventure zone back to the CZ. So you could technically make infinite zombies off turn if you had a way to make infinite mana off turn. I hate Jill. All the boys try to fight Ultima and she does not because we can get to Jill.
Jill, Shiva's dominant. 2 and a blue for a legendary creature, human noble warrior with 2 power, 2 toughness. When Jill enters, return up to 1 target other non-land permanent to its owner's hand. You may pay 3 blue and tap Jill to exile Jill and return Jill to the battlefield transformed. Activate only at sorcery speed. The backside is Shiva, Warden of Ice, legendary creature enchantment saga elemental with 4 power and 5 toughness. Loyalty, or at chapters 1 and 2, target creature can't be blocked this turn. At chapter 3, tap all lands your opponents control, then exile this in return.
Yeah, so I understand that she or something on your same board can't be blocked, but she's only a 4/5 relative to Clive's like 9/9. I'd almost rather just slam with that beater and then generate mana. Tap all your opponent's lands. This is okay. By the way, just to remark, I have not played 16, so I don't know why Jill. You don't like Jill. I'll have to talk to my brother about it. He really liked 16. I don't know why I haven't played 16. I was telling Will this off camera, but I played pretty much every modern Final Fantasy, but I don't know why I haven't picked this one up yet. And it looks like it's in my wheelhouse. Like, I like the setting. I like it's a little bit grittier. It seems like the themes are more mature. So if you're an adult that's followed these games, then maybe you'll appreciate it for that. But I have no feelings about this card. She's kind of just mid.
Yeah, bounce effect, a little bit of evasion, and then like tap lands so that people go shields down on your combo turn.
Mm-hmm.
But you're in mono blue, so you don't really do combos. So,
Yeah, unless Naru's in the shell, I guess. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Cool art, cool character. Aside from not fighting Ultima, I'll have to look into that. Kain, Traitorous, Dragoon. Do we have other arts for Kain here? No, sadly. Okay. Getting all the mono black cards. Kain, Traitorous, Dragoon. Human Knight, 2/4 body. Jump, of course. During your turn, Kain has flying. When Kain deals combat damage to a player, that player gains control of Kain. If they do, you draw that many cards. Okay, so are we gonna like buff him? He's not goated though, right? Like he can attack us again. Create that many tap treasure tokens, then lose that much life. This is really, really good value in black.
Yeah, if you're using equipment, like you can use cranial plating and stuff with the treasures to make Kain massive really quickly.
Yeah.
And then
or
the downside is you're giving him to somebody, and then somebody else is going to get more value. The upside on that is that you can kill Kain, reanimate Kain, or replay Kain from the command zone, and then just keep going because you have a ton of treasures off of Kain connecting on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in a good position to just not give people Kain a lot of the time. But then in the early game, in a casual format, you're usually fine with like giving somebody Kain here and there.
Yeah.
And if somebody just chooses to not attack with Kain, you can go, okay.
Yeah,
kill him.
Also,
him.
You're in the colors of Orcish Bowmaster too, so don't forget, like, that could be the way you kill Kain and get it back. Or, anything else on value on your opponent's board.
I do want to point out, Kain is not a Mei. So if Kain does combat damage, period, you have to give that person control. You have to draw the cards, and you have to make the treasures, and you have to lose that much life.
Ooh, hatred on Kain. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
actually,
you die. You die. If you hatred on Kain, you're paying all of your life.
yeah.
You're draining all your life. You can give him lifelink, but
Yeah, you really need the life link. You're gonna need the life link. I'm sure there's an
that's
aura that does it, but
that's the broken thing. Actually, Kain is way more disgusting than we're giving credit for, Patrick. You know why?
hmm.
You hit
Hatred.
somebody with Kain, you get the triggered ability. They would. Oh no, never mind. If you kill somebody with commander damage, you can't give them control of Kain. I was thinking they gain control and then you immediately
Oh,
get it back.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
if
yeah.
you get the triggered ability, you can't give them control of Kain.
Oh,
That is a rules
oh.
question. If you have a triggered ability that would give somebody a creature, but they are out of the game, does that still count as like giving them the creature and immediately returning it, or what? That's an interesting question.
Um, is it command beacon? Sacrifice this land, put your commander into your hand from the command zone. No. What's the
Homeward
what
Path.
is homeward path? Homeward path. I'm like, it doesn't sacrifice. Yeah, yeah. Bring that dragoon back. Each player gains control of all creatures. That's actually kind of sick. Wait, oh man.
Yeah,
You know what? Homeward
Homeward
path.
Path.
Yeah, Trixie. That was the best suggestion that could have been made. Yeah. So it's weird that your deck wants to demonic tutor for a land, but honestly, I kind of like the idea. I kind of want to build this now. Like all of the
Yeah.
suggestions for Kain are making this sound better and better.
I'm
love
just
it.
saying, cranial plating with those treasures goes really hard.
I know. Oh man. Okay. I know we don't usually deck build during just reviews of sets, but
I mean, that's kind of what this whole stream is about. It's like a
Yeah.
light deck review of like all these different things.
Yeah.
Speaking of things
This
that
should have just
can be reviewed,
Sorry, this should have just been a
Kefka.
brainstorm session for you guys. Kain is great. Thank you for moving us to Kefka. Kefka's
Yeah, I do, because
really-
we're probably building Kain, so we don't have to dig too hard into Kain.
Dude, we're probably
Kefka,
building
Court
Kefka.
Mage, 2 a blue, a black, and a red. For a legendary creature, human wizard with 4 power and 5 toughness. When Kefna enters and attacks, each player discards a card. Then you draw a card for each card type among the cards discarded this way. I am curious on discard order for this, just because people can choose to be like, oh, you discard a land, I'm going to discard a land. Next guy, I'm going to discard a land. So I'm curious to see like what the order of discarding has to be for that. I think you have to discard first. But continuing, you may pay 8. Each opponent sacrifices a permanent of their choice, and then you transform Kefka, only at sorcery speed. The backside is Kefka, ruler of Rune. Legendary creature, avatar, wizard, with flying, 5 power, 7 toughness, and whenever an opponent loses life during your turn, draw that many cards. And if somebody activates that Necropotence or Adnos is on your turn, you're going to be laughing to the bank.
Yeah. The way this is worded, loses life, it should work with any instances of life loss. So it's yeah, obviously you're going to want to trigger this yourself. It's not too dissimilar to Villas, but Villas only it works off yourself. So this is
not too dissimilar from that one Niv Mizzet that ended up being really bad, but Kefka gets around the one reason why that Niv Mizzet sucked, which is that Niv Mizzet gave you no maximum hand size. This doesn't. So if you discard to hand size with any discard burn effect in play, you win. You kill everybody.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. It's in the right colors too. Like Grixis has just been a nasty combination for a long time, and
he's also a brutal little shit because he's 5 mana ETB, everybody discards a card and you draw up to 4 cards.
Yeah.
And then when he attacks, repeat. Like that front side alone is just Timna with hand hate.
Is it weird? I kind of just like the idea of a flicker build around the front end of this card. Like nothing else. Because I love mass discard builds. It's why I really enjoy Tiny Bones as a list.
Just mix Twin Flames and Reanimates in there so you can Legend Rule, kill it, then attack with the token, then reanimate the original, sacrificing the token, repeat.
Oh my god, yeah, I didn't even think about just the implications of like having red in this list is actually pretty valid. Because Sans White, you lack some flickers, but just the duplication effect is a really good idea for sure. Oh man. There's a lot to do with Kefka. I think this is when I saw this, I'm like, I felt like this is one we kind of just need to build. It's one, it's a popular character, but 2, it is good. it's actually very good, and it's low costed relative to a lot of the other high value, so far as like effects are concerned, characters. Also, its flippability is it's ageneric on face, so like if whatever lines of play we decide to manipulate include mana, this is not difficult to flip with no pips in its cost. You know, it's like they did the Thrasios thing. They're like, just make it high cost generic, and it's going to be fine. But it's like, I don't know if the flip side is this. I feel like your best draw is off the top, though. I don't even know if you need to flip Kefka. Anyway, sorry, we're getting a lot of comments on this guy.
People pointed out with Kefka, you draw more than 4 theoretically, because it counts card types, not number of cards that have their own unique types in it. You discard if you discard like an artifact, enchantment, creature, then you draw 3 solely off of that. Or if you discard if somebody discards Dryad Arbor, you draw 2 off of that.
Thank you. And Smelly stated it. It's AppNap order, but so far as choice is concerned, but it's simultaneous as the cards are discarded. So yeah. Thank you for that. I saw someone saying discards at the same time. Yeah, Navos, that's correct. Homeward Path means that you can play Wishclaw Talisman to get the land and then get it back. No? Homeward Path says permanents you control. Correct? I'm sorry.
Creatures. Homeward Path says creatures.
Yeah, let's see. Gains control of creatures. No, I wish though, Pen. That's interesting call. I mean, you'll still want to use the Witchclaw for something you need a value. But
theoretically, if you want, you can use. You can have Kain Wishclaw for Homeward Path, then have Kain brutally kill that one person that you just gave the Wishclaw to, and then get Wishclaw back.
Yeah, Trixie, I think you're right. So the maximum amount you could draw is actually quite higher, pending on any sort of split typings here. So, yeah, I mean, and yes, again, my goal is to
discards a battle. Somebody discards a planeswalker. There's a planeswalker artifact. Somebody discards an enchantment creature, then you discard. Oh no, that'd be. Dang! It's somebody discards a fuse card, so that's an instant sorcery. Then you discard either an enchantment land or an enchantment creature. So you can draw up to 7.
Okay.
It is a very specific set of circumstances, but 7.
Who are you playing against? I love this. Look, even if you just drew 4, it would be very good. It would be really, really good. Obviously, you know, you're a part of this, so it could be its own game. Like, you could discard your land per turn in hopes of drawing another land, but knowing that, like, that would probably potentially get you another draw. There's a little bit of a mind game to it, but I do think, frankly, you're gonna come out on top every single time this hits the field. It also hits the field in attacks. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What is this card evaluate? There's no evaluation on this yet. It's going to be expensive.
It's a mythic. It's a mythic. It draws a ton of cards on the back. People are going to go nuts just for the back, but the front is also gross.
But like that's one of the things. Sorry, just the last thing I want to harp on about Kefka, and one of the strategies that's sort of underutilized in the game is mass discard, because there aren't very many legendaries, at least in a commander setting, that allow you to deploy that strategy and make it symmetrical or asymmetrical in best case scenario, that do it well. This is the best discard commander I can think of to date, and it's one of the most brutal effects you can play on someone. How do you combat someone if you can't play Magic, right? So it's like, I don't know. I feel like that this is just going to be brutal. In my head, I think that this is a pretty cool commander. I really, really want to build it. At any rate, we can move on.
Yeah. Next one's to you, Patrick.
Kuja. I'm sorry, Kuja. I'm just looking for the cool art. So Kuja here for 2 generic Rakdos human mutant wizard 3/4 body. At the beginning of your end step, create a tapped 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. Then, if you control 4 or more wizards, transform Kuja. So you can get there pretty quickly. Avatar Wizard, Flamestar, 4/6 body. If a wizard you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. So pure wizard tribal, on top of the fact that itself is a wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fine. Obviously, you're making 0/1, so you know you're not really going to do much with them. But they are pingers, right? The 0/1s.
There's 0/1 pingers that are going to be dealing double damage. So in total, when you cast anything after it flips, you're dealing 6 damage.
Mm-hmm. You know, so on turn 1, you'll have ended officially with 2 wizards, and then any non-creature spells you cast from then on out will start pinging people. Even just 1 pinger, at least in a CDH setting, provided you have a spell that loops, is enough, right? Because it's on cast, so anything that will allow you to cast it indefinitely is going to do the trick. Is this a Chain of Smog commander? Is that what I'm reading here?
Cast
just
Chain
it's
of
not
Smog's copy.
Okay, so it's not mage. Yeah, it's a magecraft thing. Okay.
Just
it's
as
fine.
a general burn commander, this is a fun commander. There's also probably some wizards with burn effects, so there are definitely things that you can do. I will say those wizard tokens look like they're having a fun time.
I didn't even look yet. Wait, yeah. Oh yeah, these little VVs over here.
Love them.
Yeah, me too. Those boots look sick. Make those boots.
Next, we got Lightning, army of 1. 1 a red, a white for a legendary creature, human soldier with 3 power, 2 toughness, first strike, trample, and lifelink with an ability called Stagger. Hold on. There we go. Whenever lightning deals combat damage to a player, until your next turn, if a source would deal damage to that player or permanent that player controls, deal double that damage instead. So lightning pretty much just marks somebody so that you deal double damage to them with other things. That is very relevant with first strike, so you get the initial poke and then you get double damage with everything else. Lightning's cool. Lightning's like a good aggressive commander. Lightning's kind of like an inverse Voltron commander where you want to Voltron something other than your commander, but Lightning also has the good keywords to be Voltroned onto, so fine. No, I probably wouldn't build it. I don't think anybody's really going to want to build Lightning, but fine.
They're fans.
Yeah, people will build Lightning as a fan deck, but Lightning is not well designed to be a specific commander.
No, it's fine. Good stat line, like good effects. This is just vanilla good. We could take inventory on the fact that she's a 3 mana 3/2 first strike trample lifelink. Like that's all just good on its face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fine. I don't think Stagger's a great ability in a commander setting, but I think that this is a really good card potentially for other formats. I don't necessarily think it's going to make waves in commander, but if you're a fan of her, I'm surprised we haven't gotten more lightnings. I feel like she's a fan favored character. There's plenty of games centered around lightning. Yeah. If you give her double strike, does she then allow 4x damage? Yeah, whenever lightning deals combat damage to a player. So correct. There's 2 damage steps, right? So you'll do 3, then you'll do 3 again. So yeah.
Funnily enough, lightning would deal 9 damage because of that.
Right.
Of just 6, and then any damage past that would be 4x, but that would be after combat. Actually, I thought
if you do double strike.
No, not double strike. If you do extra combats, you can stack that over and over and over and over again.
Whenever she deals combat damage to a player until your next turn.
Oh, didn't even realize next turn.
Yeah. And if source deals.
Oh, so that's like a. Never mind. Lightning's actually better because the fact that you let other people deal double damage to that player, you can just be like, okay, you're the threat. Give lightning unblockable, double strike, boom. Everybody deal times 4 damage to the guy that's gonna kill us next turn.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Because it is opening up the field for other players to just obviously not everyone's going to tailor their list to deal damage in that way, and that might just rely on them swinging. But even if they swing their thing, and swing their thing, and then you double it twice. What is that? Quad damage. What is 8 damage from a 2/2 or something?
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I don't know that it's cutting it still, but I like the effect more now that
between extra combats doing double strike and the fact that it lasts for full rotation. Yeah, there's things that you can do with lightning.
Does Delny rely on power or defense? Delny is
power. Delny's power.
Okay. I like it. I still like it. It's like a mini version of the Boros Angel. do pain lands deal double damage to that player? I mean, if a source would deal damage to the player,
pay life.
It's the shock lands.
Are shocks damage?
Do shocks say you can have it enter untapped to deal X damage? To do 2 damage?
Pay 2 life.
Pay 2 life? Okay. So no. But pain lands, like you're saying...
City of Brass. City of Brass will deal double damage.
Right. Tarnished Citadel?
Ancient Tomb.
Yeah. Yeah. That hurts. That would hurt. If you could do that in Slicer combat.
Yeah, that's rude. That would be fun.
Yeah.
There's things that you can do with lightning. Lightning is a weird group slug commander.
Yeah, really interesting group slug. I'll give her more credit than we gave her initially. I'd be curious to see how you guys build a lightning list. I'm curious to see if we get any more lightnings, frankly. All right. Will?
This one's yours. I got lightning.
Prince of Lucis?
Yeah,
Noctis?
Noctis, Prince of Lucis.
I don't really love this game, man. Okay, so generic white,
you may not love
black.
this game, but you're gonna love this card.
Yeah, you say that. Let's see if it's true. I'm sorry, we're gonna go for the sick art. Okay. Look at that sword. 4/3 lifelink. You may cast artifact spells from your graveyard by paying 3 life in addition to paying their other cost. I love artifacts. If you cast a spell this way, that artifact enters with a finality counter on it. Okay. Finality means that it's exiled if it were to leave the battlefield.
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt would deal 12 damage. I like where everyone's head's at with lightning. You may cast artifact spells from your graveyard by paying 3 life in addition. So I would say that this would work as like a KCI thing, but you're exiling the thing. This is just a good value piece. Am I missing a combo here?
Finality says if it would be put into the graveyard, it is exiled, not if it leaves the battlefield.
If put into the graveyard. Okay. We're still probably putting that thing into the graveyard, frankly.
Probably.
Yeah, Noctis is my favorite Tekken character. What, does he just look like Jin Kazuya to you? Or is he in Tekken? Did they put him in Tekken? I trust that that's true. This is fine. I don't know.
Noctis is just really dumb. So, one, you're doubling up on your stacks pieces, so they keep coming back until the finality counter actually sticks, because you can remove counters to keep going, you can bounce it and then replay it to keep going, you can flicker stuff to keep going. You can set up graveyard lines where you just go, I entomb KCI. I play KCI. I do the thing. Noctis is just really good.
My brother-in-law loves Tekken. You know what? He probably has a copy of Tekken 7 that I could play next time I visit him. I didn't know that. But yeah, family that really likes Tekken. Yeah, I'm with you, Will. I just feel like this is kind of like an abnormal stacks mander, but I get that its value in recasting your Trini Spheres, I guess, or whatever. I don't know I just don't know how you're concluding the game with this commander. With the commander itself,
probably.
Yeah, you're probably using something in the body of the 99 for this. I'd be curious to see Noxus built out. I know people like this character, so
there's also probably some dumb thing you can do with an artifact that can remove counters to do stuff to just keep all of your artifacts permanently. Then you just go Lion's Eye Diamond. Game.
And yeah, I feel like I haven't played a Tekken. I last time I owned a Tekken game was PlayStation 2, and last time I played a Tekken game was at an arcade. I'm not good at it though. I'm not good at Tekken at all. I've really tried to be better at those games, and I'm just like I suck at them. But that's kind of cool that all these characters are Tekken. Right? Who makes Tekken? Is it Square Enix? Or like what's that partnership? I like that there are these characters in it. Solemnity, Will, in your Noctis list.
Just Solemnity? Oh yeah, that's the things can't get counters one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably also just an artifact that removes counters, but yeah, Solemnity is, yeah.
All right, folks. One of our best girls here, potentially, unless
Yeah,
you didn't play Final Fantasy VIII.
Rinoa Heartilly,
No,
or,
hardly. Heartily.
Rinoa Heartilly. Uh, 3 green, white for legendary creature, human rebel warlock with 4 power, 4 toughness. When Riona enters, create Angelo, a legendary 1/1 green white dog creature token. Uh, Angelo Cannon. Whenever Riona attacks, another target creature you control gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. Make one thing big, another inverse Voltron commander. Power matters is really good here, so you can go wide and go tall. Fun.
Yeah, sorry. There was a gifts ungiven pile given for Noctis that. So Sensei's Top, the Equipment Jellyfish, Helm of Awakening, Draw the Deck, Infinite Storm.
I mean, yeah, you can. There's a million different things that you can do with Noctis to win the game. Just because Intuition, you literally just do cost reducer, one of the top deck things, either Jellyfish or Mystic Forge, and then Sensei's Top, and then win the game. Noctis wins.
Mm-hmm. This is so cute. I love that her dog attacks in the game, by the way. It's like one of her moves.
Noctis Sensei's Divining Top is really dumb because you keep putting top on top of your deck, so it's never going away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is kind of sick, actually. Yeah, the finality, what? Yeah, this is why I feel like I was thinking Pull from Eternity as well. Anytime I'm like in a list with white and I know something's gonna get exiled, I'm like, do I need this? And usually DOS, the case is no, you don't need it. Angelo token is cute. I believe it. Oh, damn it. Yeah, that's so cute. Yeah, like any doggo. I like your take of Walmart Mix and Boo. This is more friendly for a wider audience, yeah, than Minx and Boo. This is fine. Yeah, it's whatever. It's like it's not impressive. Maybe there's something you could do with that dog. Maybe you can sacrifice it, do some cool things with it. But yeah, Rinoa. I'm glad you're in the game.
X-Parasite lets you remove counters from things. You have to pay 1 mana to remove the counter, but that's not too hard.
No.
It itself is an artifact. Hex Parasite's unkillable. You just keep going. I pay 1 to remove the finality counter from Hex Parasite. I pay 1 to remove the finality counter from Hex Parasite.
Do we Noctis KCI top? Great. Yeah. Look, what are we doing? Do we really want to play Noctis?
Noctis is good enough. I think Noctis works, but he's very straightforward. You know what he's doing.
Yeah, the pay 3 life. I mean, it's gonna end eventually. But you could do this. It's not limited to once per turn. So, man,
you could theoretically loop like a Lion's Eye Diamond if you have a way of gaining life when artifacts leave or enter. But next card's yours, Patrick, and it's the first of many Sephiroths.
Dun, 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 dun. Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier, 2 generic and a black, 3/3 body, human avatar soldier.
The alternate arts.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna look at this one. This one looks good. Okay, here we are. Fabled Soldier. 3/3 body for 3. It's pretty good. Pretty good stats. Whenever Sephiroth enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. I don't mind it. It can be a token.
I sacrifice Aerith.
You could. She's there for it. Fulfill your destiny, Aerith. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. If this is the 4th time this ability has resolved this turn, transform Sephiroth. That could be difficult to do, but we'll see if we can get there. I mean, you're probably running a bunch of stuff to make everyone sacrifice something. And there's plenty of that in black. The One-Winged Angel. Probably my favorite fight separately in Kingdom Hearts, but 5/5 flying supernova. As this creature transforms into Sephiroth One-Winged Angel, you get an emblem with whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Any loops we can think of? This is just the finisher right here. Actually, Wow. Any sort of reanimate line. Okay, sorry. Thinking ahead. Whenever...
You can flicker him, sack him, reanimate him, get multiple of the emblems, drain more and more.
Yeah, you just need the one emblem, really. You just need the one, and if you do it indefinitely, then yeah. Whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may sacrifice any number of other creatures if you do draw that many cards. This is just generic good. Mono black, though, I'm trying to think of like a line of play that just lets you... Because sacrificing is part of this, right? So whenever a creature dies, target... So even just the front end does the trick. You don't really need to resolve this 4 times to flip him necessarily, unless you want some permanence to this effect. But basically, he's your aristocrat, right, in the command zone. Withdraw. It's good.
He's good. He's a blood artist in the command zone. We've had Orzhov commanders that do similar things, but the fact that he's also a draw engine on top of that makes him a bit more useful. Like, even just that first effect, he's a 3-mana guy that when he attacks, you draw a card every turn because you just have a reassembling skeleton or a bloodghast or something. Cool. And then the backside, if you just have Cheerios and mass reanimate effects, you go, okay, sack everything, bring back everything, repeat, draw most of my deck. Probably game.
Yeah, dude, the Numeral art is sick. It is. Yeah, this card is busted. Yes, I put Sephiroth into Yawgmoth Death as soon as I could on Mox Field. 2 undying creatures and Yawgmoth will flip that easily. Have we got to Sid yet? Trixie, we have got to Sid. If you want to talk about Sid, though, feel free to leave your comments, and we can always revisit some of these cards as we go through. I think that's enough for Fabled Soldier. It's good. But what about Fallen Hero, Will?
Sephiroth, Fallen Hero, the one non-black Sephiroth.
Yeah.
3 red and white for legendary creature, human avatar soldier with 7 power and 5 toughness. First ability, Genova Cells. Whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may put a cell counter on target creature, and until end of turn, each modified creature you control has base power toughness 7/5. Reunion. You can pay 3, sacrifice a modified creature you control, and return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Strong commander. Put +1/+1 counters on all your Ornithopters. They are now 7/5 Ornithopters, and then if they ever kill Sephiroth, you sack an Ornithopter to bring him back. Brutal commander.
Yeah, that's a pretty insane effect to just feed Genova Cells to anything.
You can ignore the Genova Cells. You just put equipments on things or put +1/+1 counters on things, and then everything is just massive.
Right,
Okay, I'm going to swing for 35 damage at you. How? I have 5 Ornithopters.
Right, I kind of want... you probably obviously run Lightning Greaves. Any sort of haste enabling effects so that when he hits the field, he comes online immediately until end of turn. So there's no permanence to this, but on that turn, yeah, anything you've built up prior to him hitting is pretty ridiculous.
I wish he was in either green or black because there are Power Matters cards in green and black that you could easily abuse, but I'm still happy with this. This is a pretty powerful effect.
Is Boros AC is Boros Sephiroth? Wasn't Kadash transforming into him? You could probably get the yeah. This is the Cloud deck, right? This is from the Cloud deck, right? I think you're correct. This is maybe why he's not in black, by the way. Yeah. This is better than the Cloud from that deck. I'm just gonna say that.
When you're better than the face commander.
Yeah, I think this is really good. I don't disagree with you. It feels more of a casual thing, though. Do you want to try doing this? Obviously, being able to...
I feel like it's kind of like a self-explanatory thing because it's just, hey, yeah, you make tokens and then you put counters on tokens or equipment on tokens and then punch hard.
We can move on to Planet's Heir Sephiroth. How many Sephiroths do we have? Is it just these 3 right now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably enough, right? I don't know. People really like Sephiroth. So for 4 generic Dimir, human avatar soldier, 4/4 vigilance. When Sephiroth enters, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a 1/1 counter on Sephiroth. This is the end for all of you. This goes counter to Cloud's flavor text. But yeah, you can flicker this and kill all of your opponent's stuff. He is costly, and he does get bigger, and he's vigilant. So they shouldn't have blockers, but you will always have a blocker, and you will always have a nasty attacker. It's fine. I don't think that this is like in the mythic rare slot. If I pulled this over Kefka, I would be a little upset.
I don't think you can pull it from packs. I think this is the.
Oh, is this just in the
deck? It's the face card for the deck.
Wait. Oh, I thought the Chocobo was the.
No, your Chocobo is the commander decks. This is the precon deck.
Oh,
60 card.
Oh. Then you know what? Mythic rare seems fine. At least a colorless Pip. Sephiroth should be colorless because Genova is so Eldrazi like. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if we get a Genova. I mean, she would just be in a giant test tube, but you know, we need the shot of Sephiroth pulling the cover off the Genova tube. Like, if that's not a card yet, we kind of need that.
Need it, yeah.
So it's so iconic, that cutscene is so good. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Next, we got a Shintata, Tactician Mage. Or Tactician Magician, my bad.
Tactician Magician?
Yeah. One, a blue and a red for legendary creature Dwarf Wizard with 0 power and 4 toughness. When you cast a non-creature spell, Shintata gains +X+O, where X is the mana spent to cast that spell. If X is 4 or more, draw a card. I have a Levon deck. Levon is a very similar effect, except Levon is you give target creature +X+O until end of turn. And X is the mana value of the card you cast, not the mana you spent. So Shintato cannot cheese with free spells and also can only buff itself. So,
Yeah.
Kind of concept. You can punch hard, but there's better. Is it buff things?
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, as soon as I realized it's X is the amount of mana spent, it's kind of, yeah, that's fine. You could still do this, but I like Will is saying, I think there's just better commanders for this. Cool, though. I mean, if you like Shantoto, Tato. Sin, did we speak on Sin at length before? But
yeah. Sinspira's Punishment. The long and short of this, when it enters and attacks, you exile permanents from your graveyard till you exile at random, till you exile a non-land card, and then you make a token of all the permanents exiled this way.
Yeah, it's cool. It's good. Card from your graveyard at random.
For this next one, then, Patrick, since we already covered Sin enough.
Yeah. Do we have Zephyr in the game yet? Sorry, every time I see these,
we might hit triple digits for legendaries in this set inevitably. We're already at 52, and I think that we're not even like a quarter of the way through the set.
I kind of hope so. There's obviously a few missing from what we have here, but I'm super excited for this yet. So Squall, 2 generic and Orzhov, Human Knight Mercenary, 3/4 body. I've known so many people with that like lion heart necklace thing. It's kind of dope. I would say, so there's some like really cool iconic looking stuff from this game. I don't know, it's not everyone's favorite, but Final Fantasy VIII was pretty solid.
Everybody knows the gun sword that he has.
Yeah, I liked Zephyr's more though, I'm not gonna lie, but the revolver like gun sword's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. Whenever Squall deals combat damage to a player, return target permanent card with a mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Well, we're in Orzhov.
You give Squall double strike every single time that he attacks alone, and then you get 2 things back from your graveyard into the battlefield.
All right, what are we buried aliving? What's the pile? What do we want to do?
I don't even think you need to buried alive anything. You just keep recurring those fetches and those rule of laws until everybody cries.
I mean, I guess you could do that. You would definitely want some protection on Squall here, so bring his mom.
Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot boots back, so he has a shoe on each foot. When they blow him up, he gets both of them back.
The fact that it's a permanent is kind of crazy. It's not non-land, so like Will was saying, like you just keep retrieving your fetch. Yeah, this is the weirdest form of ramp in the CZ I've seen. Orzhov usually doesn't get to do this stuff, you know?
This is just better Sun Titan. Now, granted, you have to connect to get things back with Squall, but if you're connecting ever, you're probably getting stuff back that's going to ruin other people's boards so that you'll connect again, whether it be evasion or removal. So, yeah, disgusting.
Yeah, this is really good. There are definitely combo lines here. Like if you want to do something, I mean, if you just bring back, let's see, Lean and Relic Water with the pre-war formal gear.
Bring back Animate Dead, and
well, no, so Lean and
Blood Artist.
Lean and Relic Water. Blood
Artist.
Bring
back Animate Dead with Blood Artist, and then Leonin gets brought back with Animate Dead.
Loop. Right, loop. Yeah. I mean, is there an easy way to do that? No, you can't bury it. Is there a creature based? So the artist, obviously,
there's a creature that can tutor an aura. There's Heliod's champion. It tutors an aura from deck to hand.
From deck to hand or deck to top?
Hand. You're thinking of Moon Blessed Cleric. That's any enchantment from deck to top.
Okay, so we could bury it alive a win here.
Yeah, we can bury it alive the Heliod's champion, or the Heliod's something. I'm actually going to look up that card.
You can discard and make him unblockable with Key to the City. Yeah, I mean, you'll definitely want to make him unblockable, hands down. Or just, again, like if you're running the moms, like you give him protection and then cut through. You know, you rough divide, as we say. Split the cheeks, as Squall would say.
So you get the pile is buried alive for Heliod's Pilgrim, Blood Artist, and Leonin. Then you get back Pilgrim and Artist, and then you have Pilgrim find Animate Dead for the game. So that is your one card combo if you want that.
Should we? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, I would want that.
I just want people to suffer by me bringing back every single stacks piece.
I think that having like one clear-cut way to win is solid. But what's cool is that any like self-sacrificing thing that destroys things on board, you could just bring that back. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many utilities. He does say that. Yeah. There's so many utilities that you could incorporate in this deck that his recursion allows you to repeatedly use. You know, never mind. And I like Will's strategy here, but like, you know, you can obviously recover anything that your opponent's removed off the board, but you can also recover things that you're removing, right? So if there's any like self-sacrificing effect that you want to leverage multiple times over,
Contagion or something, the thing that says all lands tap for only black.
Oh.
And then you have to sacrifice a creature or this on each upkeep. You just sacrifice and bring it back.
Is Contagion 3 or 4? I think Contagion's 3, right?
It's 3.
Wow.
This is a Sun Titan line. People know this is a Sun Titan thing.
This is so weird. This is so weirdly effective.
I mean, it's Sun Titan. Sun Titan's a good card.
But like Sun Titan is 5 mana?
6.
Oh my god, Squall. Okay, so they printed a really good Squall, is what we're getting at. And it might be one of my favorite things in Orzhov in a long time. I'm glad it's good. I would really like to build Squall. I mean, Kafka and Squall are on the list so far. Let us know if there's any legendaries you would like to see built. I think that this is pretty stupid, though. And again, even if it's just base value, I'm ramping here. After I've laid down some stacks, I'm super happy with all of that. Like my turn 1 is like, you know, a Deafening Silence. Turn 2 is Boots. And then I follow all this up with like Squall and go to town. Ugh. Anyway, and he also just brings... Sorry, we can skip past this guy.
Yeah, I'm going to hop through like the next 2 really quick, and then we'll go on to the third one. Stiltskin is a 1-mana 1/2 lifelinker that you can pay to tap and give an opponent control of a permanent you control. If they do gain control, you draw a card. Terra is a Mardu commander that says when this attack, or at the beginning of combat, mill 2 cards, this gains flying. When this deals combat damage, you can pay 2 to reanimate a creature with power 3 or less and put it from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. We've covered those before. They've been things. Let's go to the new Terra. Terra, Magical Adept. 1, a red and a green for a legendary creature, human wizard warrior. When Terra enters, mill 5 cards, put up to 1 target enchantment milled this way into your hand. Trance, you can pay 4, a red and a green, and tap to exile Terra and return it to the battlefield transformed at sorcery speed. The transform side is Esper Terra, legendary creature legendary creature saga wizard enchantment with 4 chapters. Chapter 1, 2, and 3 create a token that's a copy of target non-legendary enchantment you control. It gains haste. If it's a saga, put up to 3 lore counters on it. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next upkeep. Chapter 4. Add white, white, blue, blue, black, black, red, red, and green, green. Exile this and return it to the battlefield at the front side. You can give Terra haste and then tap Terra again and flip immediately to the backside if you really want. There's probably funny things that you can do with enchantments that can proliferate things so that you can just spam through this really quickly. But this is just a very cool WUBRG saga commander. So props. I know we have a Tom Bombadil, I think, which is another saga commander. But
right.
This is the cooler one.
Yeah, I kind of hate that the backside of the full art isn't full art, but you know, they tried. It's also not WUBRG, sadly.
It is. It is WUBRG.
I don't think so.
It is WUBRG because it specifically adds red, red, white, white, black, black, and green, green, and blue, blue.
We're considering the back of the card for this?
Yes. So for Meld, it doesn't consider the back of the card. For Transform, it does consider the back of the card.
Well, better than Tom Bombadil. This feels better than Tom Bombadil.
Yeah. Tom Bombadil, Bombadil.
Thank you, Trixie. Yeah, no, I love this. Just the standard art. The arts for this card are so good. Terra, by the way, on that poll. Yeah, I like it. Everything Will said. It's fine. It's sagas are never, even in WUBRG, like sagas have never really been that great. We got some new sagas from this set. Maybe, again, this is one of those things where time will, in fact, make it better as we keep building out our list of sagas. Adding 3 lore counters is crazy. I know. I'm trying to think of what is like the top end, because that was sort of the issue with Bombadil, right? Like he didn't expedite the use of sagas. He didn't give you 3.
I think he was like indestructible while you had sagas or something. Like he was not terribly useful.
What is a good closer? What's a saga that needs 3 lore counters now?
I mean, I feel like the closer is just something that lets you loop Terra's effect to make a crap ton of tokens, or just keep flipping from the front side to the back side over and over and over again.
Right.
I feel like that's probably the closer.
I'd be curious to see a magical adept build. Guys, if we're missing a line of play here, please let us know. But this Terra is quite good. Yeah, it's actually pretty decent. Moving forward, though, the Emperor of Palamecia, or not Orzhov, is it? I'm still on Squall. Human Noble Wizard, 2/2 body. You can tap to add a blue or a red. Spend this mana only to cast non-creature spells. That's fine. That's probably what you're doing in Is It anyways. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a 1/1 counter on the Emperor. Then, if it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, transform it to the Lord Master of Hell. The Lord Deity Master Chancellor of Hell. 3/3 Demon Noble Wizard. Whenever the Lord Master of Hell attacks, if it deals X damage to each opponent, it deals rather X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard. Well.
So then I started blasting.
Yeah. What is that from?
I do not know. I cannot remember for the life of me.
Blast them. Adding 3 lore counters is crazy. I know. I want to look over sagas. I just don't have a wealth of knowledge on sagas. All right. This is pretty decent. Obviously, you're swinging fairly big on the other side. There's no evasion on this guy, which is where I think commander damage is less of a thing. But doing okay damage on swings is cool. I don't think we're trying to do aggravated assault or any sort of additional combat shenanigans here. This is fine. It's just a cool beater
If you
commander.
wanted to do extra combats, you probably could kill people in 2
Yeah,
swings.
you
And
probably
also, it's
could.
going to be a 6/6 on the back because it will still have the 3 counters that you
Right.
need to flip it.
Minimally, or it's a 3 or 4, 3. Okay, so it would be minimally a 6/6. That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a very solid burn commander. It just gives you a little bit of ramp to play spells a little bit bigger, makes itself bigger. Once it makes itself big enough, you start swinging for massive damage. Like, good.
I like it. Not my favorite Izzet commander, but maybe one of the better ones from the set thus far. And at the end, come and Slud is fine. All right. Any news on Titus? Have we seen this one before? Actually,
Yes, we have, I think. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may move a counter from one target creature to another target creature, both that you control. Whenever one or more creatures you control with counters on them deal combat damage to a player, you may draw a card and proliferate, trigger only once each turn. So, get a draw per turn, proliferate every turn. Proliferating is powerful, so cool. It's 3 mana Atraxa without black.
all right.
Can move counters around, which can be super useful sometimes.
I think we need to get to Tifa, sir.
Yeah, we can do Tifa. You got Tifa.
Oh, okay. Precon Titus. Yeah, we've seen him. So for a generic and a green human monk, 1/2 body, trample, landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, double Tifa Lockhart's power until end of turn. Okay. Was Tifa one? No, we haven't covered her yet. Plus scale up and fetch. Turn 3 swing. Scale up. Yeah. So scale up is the thing that it's like it has the worm on it. Yeah. Okay.
It's funny because if you have 1 mana buff effects, actually no, not 1 mana because you need to get Tifa out anyways. But you can play the fetch, get the Tifa trigger, crack the fetch, get something else, Tifa trigger in response to both Tifa triggers, use that mana to buff Tifa, and then double off after the buff.
Yeah.
So scale up style effects.
So how much damage is that? So if we do play the fetch land.
Let's say you did the growth for 2 mana, 2 mana +5/+5, and then 1 mana +3/+3. So that's a total of 8. So it's 9 doubled. So that's going to be 36 commander damage. Yeah, 36 commander damage. So it's 36 commander damage on turn 3 with trample.
Oh, you blocked with the okay. It's going to be 34 commander damage.
Yeah, I do.
So yes, you can murk someone pretty easily with Tifa.
Turns out landfall, cast berserk, but don't sack the thing is pretty good.
Yeah. How viable is this?
Green power matters is really good. Literally any buff before you start getting lands is really good. There's so many different ramp effects in green that you can easily get in like 3 or 4 lands on the same turn and then make Tifa times 3 or 4. Actually, that's doubled, right? So it's more than times 3 or 4. So yeah, if you do so it's 2, 4, 8, 16. So it's a times 16 if you get 4 lands into play. So that's how many do you need to? So let's see. If you give Tifa like +2/+2, you just need to give 3 lands to kill somebody. That's pretty easy. Tifa's going to be a good punchy commander. If you want to go even more idiotic, you have effects that say do stuff based off of power, and you can draw your deck with Tifa very easily.
Right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you need to rebuild, and frankly, you will need some of those draw effects, and a lot of them. There's more and more we're getting now where that don't require a sacrifice, like Life's Legacy, something like that. But even if you did a Life's Legacy, it wouldn't be the end of the world because I feel like you might run some other landfall shenanigans here. You're probably going to run Crucible of Worlds. I think we just got a new one. You're probably going to run the Ramming Up Excavator, just to double down on those fetch lands because that's where the value is. I really want to build Tifa as well.
Yeah, Tifa's just really good. There's also I
It's
think
really
it's like
good.
Ren
It's
in
really
the
good.
World Tree or something. Ren in 7, which has a
Yeah,
+0,
yeah.
put any number of lands from your hand onto the battlefield tap. So after you draw pretty much your full deck, you can replay Tifa, give Tifa haste, and then go boom, swing for 2,000.
Oh my god. Yeah, she's good. In case you're wondering, she's good.
Yeah, you can build a landfall spam. You can build like buffs with like a couple lands played here and there. You can build power matters. There's a million different things you could do. The other Tifa is one, a red, a green, a white for legendary creature human monk with 4 power, 4 toughness, and melee. For those who don't know, because a lot of people don't know what melee does, whenever this creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until the end of the turn for each opponent that is being attacked this combat. So +3/+3 in Commander.
Mm.
Whenever one or more creatures you control with power 7 or greater deal combat damage to a player, untap all creatures you control. Uh, if this is the first combat phase of your turn, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. It's worded to not be a combat celebrant infinite effect. The reason why this is still somewhat of a good effect is untaps all of your creatures regardless of if you're going to get the extra combat or not. And melee can stack, so Tifa's going to be dealing 7 damage, then 10 damage in one go. So you theoretically could kill somebody with this Tifa very quickly, but there's better extra combat effects. If you wanted to build a melee deck, Tifa does that. If you wanted to build like a Vigilance, Untap, Shenanigans effect deck, or just an extra combat deck, this is still a fine commander.
Can the Naya Tifa grant multiple additional combats? If this is the first combat phase of your turn, there's an additional combat phase after this. I don't
Nope.
believe so. No,
because it's not. If this is the first time this ability is triggered, like Combat Celebrant, this is your combat phase 1, not if this is your first combat, or not if this is the first time this is triggered. So no, she cannot trigger more than one time. Well, she can. You can't get more than one combat every time.
I always felt like she looked a bit like Rinoa, if you were wondering why I went back up to Rinoa there. But, or Rinoa looks like her, I should say. These are both great. Nova said something that's kind of important. Yeah, this Tifa is probably going to be, the mono green one is probably going to be very, very popular in other formats. So as a rare, it will probably be expensive. Hopefully not horrible.
Yeah, here's the thing to note. Mono green Tifa is going to be 60 card legal.
Yeah.
She's going to be modern playable.
She's going to be nasty. Dude, oh man. Yeah. She does grant multiple combats per creature with 7 who hits. Vigilance allows you to get...
If you attack with 1 or more creatures you control with 7 power or greater.
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, sorry, no, deal combat damage to a player. So, yeah, you can get 3 combats.
Total.
Okay.
3 total.
So, yeah. So that theoretically could kill somebody, because if you go 7 to 13, so you do 10 and 13 on one guy, and then you do 7 and 17 on another guy, and then that's 2 kills. Actually, it's probably going to be 7 and 15, but that's still going to be 2 kills.
Yeah,
so,
no.
Okay, tis interesting. You need to attack with a lot of high power things for that to work, though. But yeah, okay, never mind. That is actually pretty strong. I pass the next one off to you, Patrick.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah, no, you guys are right. You guys are right about the Tifa. Thank you for the clarity on that. The wording is like a mouthful, but yeah. Based on how many players you hit, for sure. Hollow 1 is a fair deck. Anytime. Thanks, Joe. Ultimacia. Someone said Ultimacia was their best girl. So let's give her a gander.
Also, to Dasf, the reason why the 2-drop Tifa is really good in Modern is because you play Tifa turn 2, then turn 3 you're swinging for a crap ton of damage, because if you're playing any form of buff, Tifa is now a 4/4. You play a fetch land, Tifa is now a 16/5 with trample. If you get any other land into play, game. If you held up a fetch land before, game. If you had any other buff, game. That's the reason why that Tifa is really good. It is pretty much just, how do you win with her? Have fetches and have buff spells. You can kill turn 3 every single game with that setup, as long as you have Tifa And a lot of the buff spells that you can run are also protection.
Whew, okay, wow, Ultimacia is pretty sick. To answer your question about MagicCon Vegas, sadly, I don't have any plans to. It would be fun to visit, though, informally or formally. But yeah, I mean, I haven't been to a MagicCon in a while, so yeah, it would be really fun. First uncommon extra turn, no. Yeah, this is that a fact? Yeah, let's take a look at this. That's really interesting. So 3 generic Dimir, human warlock. Sorry, I don't speak for Will. Maybe Will's going to MagicCon Vegas.
No, I'm not going to Vegas. No.
Okay, you're not going to Vegas. Not even around the slots. Okay, 4/5. Whenever Ultimacia enters or attacks, surveil 2. I like that. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay a lot of mana and exile 8 cards from your graveyard. It's 8 and 8. If you do transform into Ultimacia Omnipotent. 7/7 Menace Time Compression. When this creature transforms, take an extra turn after this one. Well, Will.
Yes, first uncommon extra turn, by the way. Just look that up.
It's the beginning of your end step. So, I mean, technically, if you have the mana to pay for this repeatedly and an effect to flicker her, you can take infinite turns just at face value.
You will run out of cards in deck eventually.
Yeah,
if you can mill enough, you will eventually run out of things to exile. But yeah, you can take several extra turns with Ultimacia. And honestly, just a commander that mills a little bit can be useful. It's just kind of like a big bomb swing thing. This is like a weird Voltron style strategy where your game plan is just do your commander's thing to attack a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really just, that's honestly what I was thinking. Like you just swing a 7/7 multiple times. Do you not just win the game? And like if they don't have any reliable way to remove her or deal with her, right? Especially because like part of this play line is flickering her. So you just wait till they try to do it, I guess. But you're also likely going to have way more over your opponent at this point. I feel like this is pretty solid. So far as uncommons are concerned, this is the best one we've seen so far. You could definitely build a competitive deck around her if you want.
Also, if you use Roaming Throne and you name Warlock, you take 2 extra turns and you mill 8 cards per turn. So you just go infinite with a Roaming Throne and what's called a Conjurer's Closet effect.
Yeah.
It's not like a CDH thing, but that's a functional thing, and you don't need to hit Roaming Throne immediately, you just need to hit Roaming Throne eventually, so you have options.
Yeah, she's good. I like her. Definitely one of the better uncommons this set. We got a Vivi, though. Well, this is yours.
Yep. We got Vivi, Ornatier, Ornatier?
Ornatier. So it's fine.
Ornatier. 1 blue and a red for a legendary creature wizard. I think this is the second time that we've had a pure wizard, Arcanus being the first.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay 0 and add X mana in any combination of blue and or red, where X is Vivi's power. Activate only during your turn and only once each turn. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Vivi and deal 1 damage to each opponent. Now,
am I reading that right? Am I reading the first ability right?
What?
Oh, you just generate mana.
Yeah, it makes mana. It's Selvala. Or not Selvala, but it's a Marwyn.
Selvala requires a... Yeah. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Marwyn for blue or red. But yeah, so Vivi is really strong because 1, you can do buff effects and things. 2, if you have like anthems and stuff, you can flicker Vivi to just keep going over and over and over and over and over again. You can do stuff with extra combats. You can also put Curiosity on Vivi and just do Curiosity Storm because that last effect does ping everybody.
I was gonna say, like, it's almost the trifecta. It's like it's the outlet, it's ramp, but we don't have draw, but it works with Curiosity. Sorry, keep going. This is good.
This commander does a little bit of everything. It is the perfect excuse to just kind of go, I play equipment, I equip equipment to Vivi, I'm going to use Vivi's 0 cost ability to get 20 mana. I'm going to play everything else from my hand and storm off and keep going. And then if you are doing a flicker effect, a flicker deck, you flicker Vivi, re-equip with your floating mana, repeat.
I love the Is It Storm player's wet dream. 1,000%. And honestly, I'm with you on the flicker ability because it's activated once each turn for this instance of Vivi. So like there are other things we could do to like get other instances of Vivi. If we use is Ozolith even a play we want to do? Like if we make a twin cast, a new copy of Vivi, move the counters to the new thing, move the counters.
Combat. Move at the start of combat.
Okay, so we have an outlet to win the game. We have a way to generate mana. It's good.
Yeah. Vivi is very powerful. Vivi does the thing. Y'shtola Knight's Blessing, we've already built this, and everybody knows about this.
It's amazing.
Keep an eye on Vivi's power for, or Y'shtola's power for Delny.
Yeah. It is relevant if you use a toxic providing effect that buffs them by +1/+0. But so far as infect commanders go, best one, Great S. There's nothing like it. It's damn good. It's really fun to play. This is one of the most abstract CDH commanders in the game right now, and it's extremely effective and good at doing what it does. It's really, really fun. I really like this deck. I think I wouldn't say the list we made was perfect, but it's damned good and something that is worth building off of. Okay. That's it.
I will pass the second Y'shtola off to you.
So for 4 generic in double blue, we have a cat druid. Different than the warlock here. Future ban list. I don't know the Vivi or Y'shtola. We could talk about that. Maybe
I think Vivi and Y'shtola are totally fine.
Yeah, I think they seem fine to me. They're not like
there is a card that's going to get brought up that I think will be banned before it's even legal to be played. But we're going to go over that as the last card, and I'm gonna ask Patrick to let me cover that as the last card.
Yeah, no, we're almost there too. So we've got a 3/5 body here. At the beginning of your end step, exile a target creature you control, then return to the battlefield under control. Then if it's the first end step of the turn, there's an additional end step after this end step. Well, so anything at the beginning of your end step triggers multiple times apart from this effect, right? So
well, no, including this effect, just not that section of the effect. You'll get 2 flickers. You just won't get infinite end steps.
What are you trying to flicker to do a thing? It's mono blue, so you're kind of limited on scope here. But is there like additional we want more turns, right? Is that what we're looking at?
There's a couple There's a couple end step trigger effects that people liked that they were like, oh, you can throw this in, but a lot of the really good end step effects are flicker something on the end step, so it's just more of this.
So value on top of the value.
The best end step effects that I think people have found for this is just Monarch. Monarch is one of the better blue things that you can do with this. But in addition, flickering is more so what you're going to be doing with this Y'shtola. Since it's doubling up flickering, it's pretty good. I think the issue with this Y'shtola, though, is it is exile target creature you control, return it to its owner's battlefield. Which, unlike Thassa, the flicker Thassa, that Thassa exiles a creature you control and returns it to your battlefield. It does not matter if you're the owner or not.
This seems okay. I like the Blink Saga creatures. That's kind of cool. Again, being in blue kind of limits your ability to do this. Also, being 6 mana is kind of high costed for mono blue. Right now, top of our poll.
Yeah,
for best girl,
Grand Summoner. One green, a white, and a blue for legendary creature Human Cleric with Grand Summon. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. When you cast your next creature spell this turn, that creature enters with 2 additional counters on it. Also, whenever another permanent you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, if it had 1 or more counters on it, you may put that many +1/+1 counters on target creature. Couple things. 1, that last effect, it does not care if the counters on the thing were +1/+1 counters or whatever. It just cares that there were counters on it. So if you have something like Dark Depths, you can get rid of Dark Depths and put 20+1/+1 counters on something. There's a lot of funny and dumb things that you can do with that. With Grand Summon, Freed from the Real. You filter that mana into Freed from the Real infinitely, then you get infinite of the...
Bless you.
Sorry about that. You get infinite of the delayed trigger that puts the +1/+1 counters on the creature, meaning that you can give a creature infinite +1/+1 counters. Yuna's super abusable. There's a lot of different things that you can do on either side of her. She's cracked.
Yeah. Yeah. Potential CDH commander, Will?
Yeah, potentially. Like, just play Yuna Freed from the Real and then Ballista game.
Seems easy enough. We also got her sort of iconic art. She's dancing in the beginning of the game. Kind of love it. I never really played X2. Let me know your thoughts on that, anyone. Have we gone to Riku yet, though? I'd be interested in that.
Not sure.
We did get another Yuna, though.
Yeah.
Is this one CDH playable? Let's find out. Let me go for the other art, because this is my favorite art for her, at least. 3 generic in Celestia. That's already a strike against her. Also, Simic Ascendancy. Yuna plus Freed from the Real plus Walking Ballista. Unit goes straight into my +1/+1 counter mill legendary deck. But yeah, Simic Ascendancy as well. Sorry for the late question. Sorry, I'll read over that really quick. Flickering a transform card counts as it transforming again upon returning to the field, so you get the transform effect again. You mean on the front?
Sure what you mean?
No. If you were to flicker, say it's on its backside, whenever a card is flickered on its backside, it returns to its front side. So
Correct.
we wouldn't see that transform effect again unless we were to pay or activate said transform again.
Yeah, that's Ultimatia. It's we're paying the 8 every time. We're exiling the 8 cards every time, but we're doing that on end step so that it flips to the backside. We get the extra turn. Then Conjurer's Closet resolves, flickering it, and when it flickers, it always returns on the front side.
Yeah, is X2 worth visiting nowadays? I know. I don't know. I don't know why I never got into it. I played 10. But yeah, don't forget you can move the counters to Yuna to hit someone for massive commander damage. That too, Angelus, like 100%. Yeah, that other Yuna is really good. This one though, 3/5. Oh, she's already stronger stat line, people. This is already better. During your turn, Yuna and enchantment creatures you control have trample, lifelink, and ward. Your turn. So kind of pseudo enchantress deck coming up here. At the beginning of your end step, return up to 1 target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. I think
Return Solemnity.
Yeah. I think you're probably better off going with. We just rebuilt her. The Celestia Enchantress Commander. What's her name?
There's a couple Celestia.
No, but the one.
Sithis.
The Sithis. Yeah. This is cool. I like this. I don't think that ability only being on turn kind of hampers this quite a bit, because your opponents will wait to just hamper you off turn. But the trample lifelink ward, I think it's kind of cool. There are a lot of enchantment token generators. Can I think of anything? There's a lot of enchantments that generate tokens. I don't know that those tokens are necessarily enchantments.
I do have to say, though, you will be gaining a lot of life. Like, Yuna's first effect is very swingy.
It's pretty outdated. Yeah, I've been speaking of Zodiac Age, I brought it up at the beginning of this stream. It's come up on sale on Steam a couple times. I just haven't purchased it quite yet. Right now, I'm playing Monster Hunter Wilds and Expedition 33, so I'm sort of stuck on those. But I would like to revisit Zodiac Age. I would probably revisit 10 too. We'll play it for the first time at some point. But yeah, I'll probably wait for a Steam sale. You're probably right on that. They haven't remastered it, to my knowledge. At any rate, any thoughts on Hope of Spira? I'm sorry, beyond what we've already discussed. It's just fine.
Interesting punchy commander. Giving lifelink trample to all of your things can help you swing the game. Being able to reanimate massive things for free is also really nice, in addition to auras, so you can swing even harder. Pretty good. Not crazy, but pretty good.
Yeah, seems more casual playable. It's not like you have anything to entomb those enchantments, like big enchantments, big splashy enchantments, I should say. But you are getting a free enchantment, so it's not like it's bad.
You can use colorless loot effects to.
Yeah, that too. That too. Or I guess if there's an enchantment, a big enchantment with a cycle effect on it. Not that I can think of one off the top of my dome, other than the one that cares about the cycling stuff. Okay. Hey, these Final Fantasy Legends are so cool so far. Yeah, probably only buffs enchantment creatures. Yeah. That has to be an enchantment creature. It can't. I wish it was like modified. You could attach an aura to it or something. But anyway, Zell Dinkt.
There's not really great cycling
enchantments.
Cycling enchantments doesn't look like. Zell Dinkt. 2 in a red for a legendary creature, human monk, with 0 power and 3 toughness that says you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Zell has +1/+0 for each land you control. At the beginning of your end step, return a land you control to its owner's hand. The first effect counteracts the second effect so that you're basically able to keep up the 1 additional land per turn that you regularly have. Or the 1 land per turn you have, and then he punches. He punches if you have lands. Mono red landfall is not really a thing. I don't think it's going to be a thing. It's whatever. But he is a cool commander. There are a few weird red landfall effects that are probably worth running, but he's just funny. He's probably more of a 99 card than an actual deck.
Outside of Madara, what are some really good lands that you just want to replay over and over? Because Madara will flicker the thing. Talon gates.
Phase out.
Yeah, Talon gates. So Talon gates of Madara is a cool replayable land. It enters up to 1 target creature, phases out. You'll put this. You could do the thing by. I understand you could do the thing by itself, but this is a cool way to avoid that cost. I don't know, man. If there are cool lands you can sequence with him, it's cool. But yeah, he seems okay. I kind of wish he was in green, Tifa. But
so Angelus, how do saga/summons work with Solemnity? They don't get their first effect because sagas will trigger based off of the number of counters on them when a counter is put on them. So if counters are never put on a saga, they never get their triggered abilities. But if 3 counters are put on a saga at once, they get their third effect. So if you have a Solemnity, the summons won't do anything other than be a body.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go to Zodiark first.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you could do that.
Yeah. So Zodiark, we're down to the last 2 here, guys. So if there's anything you want to ask us about any of the legends we've seen so far, please do. No, we haven't seen Bahamut. No, we haven't seen a lot of different legendaries.
We've seen Bahamut, but he's not legendary. It's a summon.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
We're not getting a legendary Bahamut?
No, it's just a summon.
Oh, I guess the only summons
too much to fit onto 1 card as text wise.
Damn, I just want them in the CZ. Anyway, we're going to do a full set review of this, obviously, once everything's been spoiled. But Zodiark, Umbral God. The last legend, we skipped over Xenos because he's kind of a longer conversation.
Xenos.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a longer conversation. But Zodiark, Umbral God for 5 black. Crick, he's calling. God, 5/5, indestructible. Whenever Zodiark enters, each player sacrifices half the non-god creatures they control of their choice, rounded down.
Yeah.
Sorry, that could have been rounded up. I'm sorry.
Whenever it should have been rounded up because if somebody has 1 creature, they keep that 1.
You get to keep it? No. Well, how? Who? This guy blows. Just that effect alone really is lame. It should have been. You need to sacrifice something for me. I just played a god. Whenever a player sacrifices another creature, put a 1/1 counter on him. Mid.
I mean, if you're playing God Tribal, fun. But outside of that, mid.
The wording really pissed me off. It should be rounded up. I'm sorry.
Correct.
It should be rounded up because it's non-god, so there's no risk of you losing this. I'm sorry, guys. We need to correct the mechanics on this guy for me to spend 5 black on him. But this guy, we probably need to correct the mechanics on this guy as well.
We need to ban this guy, unfortunately.
Maybe.
Xenos. 3 a black and a black for a legendary creature, human noble warrior with 4 power and 4 toughness. There is nothing noble about this asshole. My first friend. When Xenos enters, choose a creature an opponent controls. All creatures other than Xenos and the chosen creature get -2/-2 until the end of the turn. When the chosen creature leaves the battlefield, transform Xenos. Xenos' transform side is Shinryu, and it is a 8/8 flying dragon legendary creature that says, as this transforms, choose an opponent. Burning Chains. When the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. So, to cover what people initially think when they see this card, it's fair. It's a reasonable card. It's pretty much just a thing that says, hey, you can rush down one guy, kill them, and then the game ends. That's pretty fair. That's pretty reasonable. Maybe a bit too strong, but that's pretty fair. That's unfortunately not how that's going to be playing out if there's any form of actual competitive spirit in the game. If Patrick is playing Xenos, he can collude with me at any point in tournament. I can be some random guy. I don't need to know Patrick to know how this is going to play out. Patrick can say, hey, I'm wiping all the small creatures. I'm choosing your elf. Pass turn to you. I go, okay. I swing my elf into Patrick. He blocks and kills the elf with Xenos. Xenos transforms into Shinryu. And then he chooses me as his burning chain friend. I am his one friend, his first friend. Then, at that point, if either of the other 2 players try doing anything that would advance a significant game plan, or would try to win the game, I can say, hey, if you continue that, I am going to concede, and both of you are going to lose the game, and Patrick is going to win the game. From this point on, the other 2 players have basically no chance of winning the game, and it's a 1v1 between me and Patrick. Can Patrick kill me with his dragon before I can find my combo and kill him? Because if the other 2 players try doing anything that would make me lose the game, I can just concede, and then Patrick wins instead. So Shinryu is unfortunately the worst design card in Magic history because it does exactly what they want it to do. Mechanically, they made no mistakes in how this card functions. But playstyle, this card is the most toxic thing ever. Because I want Patrick to choose me as the Xenos guy because it is purely a benefit for me. Because it knocks 2 players out of the game, with the only exception being that they can still use interaction to stop me or Patrick from winning the game. And they are trying to thread the fine line where Patrick hits me for the 3rd time with Shinryu, killing me with commander damage, and then they kill Shinryu before it kills me. And I will allow that, because in any other circumstance, if they try killing Shinryu, it's because they're trying to win the game. And I would say, hey, if you kill Shinryu, I concede Patrick wins. You have no reason to kill Shinryu other than trying to win the game. So of course I'm going to concede and I'm going to let Patrick win because you're trying to win.
Yeah.
So the main issue with this card is it's a commander that does trade secrets in the command zone, allowing players to collude to completely screw over the game for 2 other players. It's exactly what trade secrets does, but in a more toxic way because it doesn't immediately end the game. Long and short, yeah, this card it's awful. In casual, it's totally fine because people aren't going to do this toxic collusion, but so yeah, for Das, it's not as bad as someone using Pact of Negation and not paying for it. Kind of true. The difference with Pact of Negation and not paying for it is it's worse than that. It is actually far worse than doing the whole Pact of Negation thing, because previously it's me doing a spike play to lose the game, but then you still have a chance of winning. I'm just saying, no, you lose and I lose. The other thing with this is also, it technically isn't kingmaking. So even in tournaments where kingmaking is banned, this isn't banned. Because if I'm conceding in response to you doing something that's winning the game, that is completely allowed because I have a 100% chance of losing either way. So if I concede, then you lose and it's not king-making. Alternatively, if I threaten to concede, now instead of it being a 100% chance to lose if I don't threaten to concede, it is a 50% chance for me to lose. Either you say screw you and then you try to combo off and I have to concede anyways, or you go, well, crap, and then choose not to continue the combo and I don't concede and the game keeps going.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to concede either. Like, the other thing is the player that gets Burning Chained could just play a regular game and just like allow.
Yes, they could play a regular game, but if you're in a tournament, if you're in a competitive setting where you want to do whatever you can to win the game,
you could use this to your advantage.
Yeah, it's purely beneficial for you to be Burning Chained. It's just, this card is so problematic. The main thing is that people have said is like, well, you can kill this before it transforms, transform trigger on stack, kill it. But even then, the Xenos player can just choose to have instant speed removal and then wait to flip it until people are shields down and then flip it. Or when somebody's trying to combo off, they can try to kill the thing, and then every player is going to work together to make sure that kill spell resolves and Xenos flips, because then it Pactum negations the guy who's comboing off, basically. Or it silences the guy who's comboing off, basically. Xenos is just this really, really weird two-headed giant arch enemy bullcrap. Like, this card is just so toxic when you actually think about how people can utilize it. In actuality, in casual formats, it's going to be what people think it is. People aren't going to like spike concede to do all this bullcrap, but if this card is allowed in competitive play, it ruins the game.
Yeah, and I think
Dasa,
I think it's important to recognize that it's 5 mana, but it's in black, so it's not difficult to cast this at any point. I think we have the best rituals to get there. I do understand though that this is all only really functions if the social constructs allow for it to. And in a competitive setting, I could see what Will's saying to be the case. Elsewise, it is sort of just a 5 mana do nothing. It can feel that way. But if you're playing for this in a competitive setting, you're going to rip roar, put this down, kill the thing, set up the conditions for it to be very difficult. The opponent's still chosen after this dies, right? You do need Burning Chains online, obviously, to win the game if they lose the game. But if you were to flip this again, do you choose a new opponent? The choice is gone after it's killed, though, right? Transformed.
Yeah, it's linked to this instance of
Shinryu. Okay, that's interesting. So it could technically change if you wanted to. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know that it's bannable. It just creates weird. Well, people have always argued that Commander is more of one. It's always been casual, and it's more of a social format for Magic the Gathering. It was intended to be a social format. So like this brings it to the social forefront. It is very much more sociable this way. I mean, there's plenty of CEDH settings where people just don't talk. And I find that fucking boring. But
for Daspa, for 5 mana, you could play a good card like Naws. The thing is, this is Naws in the command zone. If you play this card, you are probably instantly knocking 2 players out of the game. It's nearly an insta-win. But it basically takes the game into 1v1. It's always in your command zone. You're probably running Naws in a deck where you run Xenos as the commander.
Yeah.
So if you have a choice between Xenos and Naws, you might go for Naws instead of Xenos. But the thing is, you always have access to Xenos every single game.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Trixie, like what Trixie's saying, like if you enter a pod and you just want your friend to win for whatever prizing or whatever, like, and you guys functionally make it this far, like it's a guaranteed win for your friend, and you can split whatever the prizing is, right? Like if they get there.
Trixie's saying if 2 people are playing Xenos.
Oh, it's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, they choose each other, and then it's just like, hey, congrats. If either of you guys kill either of us, the other wins.
Yeah, it's so funny, dude. Conceding is not sorcery speed. You're allowed to walk away at any point.
Conceding is a game action, so it gets through things like split second as well.
Yeah.
And I've discussed this with friends, and one option was made. Well, Dasva, talking about kingmaking, this is not kingmaking, which is the worst part of it. Kingmaking implies that you are making a move that lowers the chances of other people of winning purely out of spite. It gives you no advantage. With Xenos, threatening to concede increases your chances of winning. Because if I do nothing, you win the game. If I threaten to concede, either now you lose the game, or the game keeps going and I have a chance to win. So it's not kingmaking, which means that you can't ban it as a kingmaking strategy in competitive formats. Which is why this is such a problem, because there are competitive tournaments that will ban you for kingmaking.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though. If you're in a pod where like one of the players is just disliking one of the other players, I could see them very spitefully just conceding so the Shinryu player wins. And they're like, fuck this guy. Like, I hate Clyde over here. Fuck this guy. Or whatever. Name anything.
That's also like a hyper collusion thing where you can, if you're in a pod of the Xenos player, you can go, okay, I'm at 3 wins. That guy's at 2 wins, or 2 wins and a tie. If he wins this match, he gets in top 4 and I don't. Target me, I'll concede. So
yeah.
There's insane collusion with Xenos that can go on. This is basically mono black trade secrets in the command zone. It's really toxic. I talked with friends, though, and it was brought up of, what if we changed the game rules so that conceding wasn't losing the game? And that is potentially a good out to it. The issue is we have like 8 cards in the game outside of Xenos that say when a player loses the game, do something significant. And then those cards all get like a massive nerf because of Xenos. It's better to just ban Xenos from Commander.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. In a 1v1 format, how important is this card, Will?
In a 1v1, this is a 5-mana creature that wipes your opponent's board except for one thing and then flips into an 8/8 flyer. It's interesting. It will probably see some standard play just by the fact that it's a 5-mana 8/8 flyer that wipes the board. But it won't be insane. It might see standard.
So Dasva, I'm with you. I want to see it played. I need to see like if collusion, if players respond, how do they respond to this? How easy is it to flip? Like what? There are a lot of. It can be as easy as the person just swinging into you and blocking and letting you block and flipping to Shinryu, or you might have to put in a little bit more legwork using some form of removal, which there's plenty of removal. Sorry, just doing the stream late. You guys notice how broken Lightning is? Only checking to see if people notice her effect makes your opponents double tune. Yes. We definitely read over it a few.
We initially missed that, yeah.
We read over it a few times. I'm like, wait, no, this is actually functionally better than I anticipated. And their permanence, yeah. To a permanent player, yeah. So like you're really doing a lot of damage here. Like you're someone else's like Orcish Bowmaster is just gonna have a fucking field day. They're just gonna rip their board up. They're like, what are you doing? Does it involve drawing? Yeah, I'm gonna just kill your shit right now.
Give Lightning double strike, makes times 4. Put extra combats with Lightning. You can easily get to like times 16 damage. It's dumb. It's fun.
Okay, so to close this out, thanks for joining us on this one, guys. It's been fun to discuss the set. Obviously, there's plenty more to discuss as we get new legendaries from Final Fantasy X Magic the Gathering. Let us know what your favorite legends are so far. We already know who the best girl is. I'm surprised by that. I didn't know there were so many 10 lovers out there. But there's a couple of legends that we would love to brew from this set. I feel like Lightning could be added to the list, honestly, at this point. But Kefka is up there. I think Tifa should be. I always said Tifa growing up, and I think it's pronounced Tifa. So I'm just trying to go with Tifa.
Say Tifa. The more commonly accepted one is Tifa.
Yeah. Well, okay. Kefka, Tifa, Lightning, Noctis. I'm kind of surprised by Noctis. There's plenty of legends that we would like to brew. Let us know what you'd like for us to brew after this video. Thanks for joining us on this one. Obviously, leave it a like if you enjoyed it. That goes a long way. Obviously, we can keep talking about these cards after the video, so if you want to shoot us a comment afterwards, feel free to. I know our streams go pretty long, so to everyone that hung out this whole time, thanks. Appreciate it, especially on Mother's Day. Shout out to the moms. Will, any closing thoughts here?
Ban Xenos gang.
I'm curious, Dasva. I'm with you. I want to see what comes of Xenos being in the format, because someone could just win outright before Xenos ever flips, and like that's that's a condition too. But
Yeah,
if it does come up, like it really does put stress on those faster decks to slow down or not do anything.
Yeah, my thing is like I don't think Xenos will be like the new insane powerhouse, but my issue is Xenos will ruin games. Like even in a tournament, if Xenos just wins one game by doing the Xenos thing, that is still a miserable freaking game. Like that, the fact that he warps the game to go from like poker to checkers is completely stupid.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. Okay, it's really between, for our next brew on the channel, it's really between Squall and Tifa for me. I just want to know that Tifa can do the donk like 3 times in a row, but Squall is like, this is a good deck.
Sun Titan.
Yeah, this is a good deck. This is like a really good deck. I see this being extremely brutal. Like I kind of want to build. This is like one of those decks I would love to have IRL. Because one, I love the character, I love the game. Is it Tetramaster? Which is the card game? I spent so much time playing the card game from Final Fantasy VIII and 9, frankly. But I love those games. They're just like fond JRPG memories for me. But I'm so glad that Squall is like hyper playable. I think that's why I'm super excited for him. I 100% need to build Squall, whether just here on the channel or in IRL. I see this being a competitive deck, 1,000%. All right, guys, that's it for this one. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with the Banana Man and Will. Triple triad. Thank you. I've been contemplating playing the Final Fantasy trading card game too. I've heard really good things about the modern trading card game. But triple triad was amazing. So fun. God, I love these games. All right, guys. Bye-bye. I think my wife just got home. I'm gonna have to say hi to her and call my mother. Have you wished your mom Happy Mother's Day yet?
Not yet. She's napping right now, so I'm gonna give her time.
Dude, triple triad is the shit.